Or good.
What is up, everybody?
Saturday.
Another episode of Metalheads Unite.
Welcome in, everybody.
So, big stuff to talk about today, especially in the album review section, I guess. So,
Yep. We said we did say the heavy hitters were coming.
yeah, they're definitely. I think Machine Head kind of kicked that off, and then
Yep.
Megadeth's kind of followed in. So,
Yep.
We
We
got
Ozzy next week.
Parkway Drive as well next
Parkway
week.
Drive next week. Yep.
So big stuff brewing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That and next week's show will be remote for me, so
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully, I got to figure all that out too. So it's like, because I had the charger issues with the laptop I have now. I have to borrow my daughter's because she has the same one. So,
okay.
So I'm either going to have to buy a new cord, or I've been meaning to go. Actually, we're going to Cool Springs today. We've been saying that for like 2 weeks, and we never make it up there, but. She's actually she said if we don't go anywhere else today, we got to go up there because she's got some stuff up there she's wanting to buy, and I do too, so, like a laptop.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
especially after last week with going dark a couple of times. I can definitely understand how you're to the point now where you're like, the hell with it, we need to just go buy another machine. So
yeah, and it's definitely not, like I said, I work from home, so it's not the Wi-Fi because it would be going in and out on me while I'm working. So
yeah. Well, and you just upgraded your Wi-Fi too, so
yeah. I don't know if that was, sometimes I wonder if that wasn't worse, but like I don't know how we got any worse because it was doing it 10 times as bad before. So anyway, hopefully we'll not have any hiccups. Hopefully, then again, I am going to be using hotel Wi-Fi as well. So, and I'm guessing fucking went dark again. So, motherfucker. Trying to figure out if it's maybe it's Chris. Chris got stuck this time. Okay, well, I apologize. I've been used to it being me, so I will see if I'll give him a minute or two and see if he gets back up in here. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there he is. I was just about to message you say, "Hey, was that you this time?" Or
well, that's the funny thing. I had no idea what happened because because like I was sitting here kind of like listening to you talk, and then all of a sudden your screen froze, and then I'm talking about on my end. On my end, your screen froze. Then I couldn't hear you, and then all of a sudden, both on my end, both of my screens went black, and that stupid little spinny wheel that tells you it's trying to think about something, and then it said no internet. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" So
I was over here bitching about it, and it jinxed you, I guess. So
yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, well, thank you. Good to be here. Yeah,
oh man,
happy to be here at my own show. Thank you very much. God damn it.
Yeah, well, like I said, we had storms and stuff come through last night. So
yeah, we did.
So I know, and I was telling Chris before the show that I see some lights still being worked on. So if we do kick out of here, that's probably why. It's probably not.
Because the funny thing is it's perfectly sunny outside right now,
right?
Here where we are. So if there's any lingering effects, it could be from whatever happened last night. Because I guess our power came back on about 3:30. I don't know when it came back on over at your house, but it was somewhere around there. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah. I think it had like a real bad. We keep our granddaughter on Friday nights, so she came running in there with a big clap of thunder. So I guess you woke her up. So
yeah.
Anyway.
It got pretty loud. I sleep with earplugs, and it even woke me up at some point.
Yeah. Well, my wife sleeps with earplugs, and I woke her up. So I didn't have my CPAP machine running because the lights were out. So
right, yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can go from one rant to another. I guess I don't know if anybody that's listening on Facebook, but I did a live reveal of because I bought the special edition of the Seek the Dying and the Dead by Megadeth, and I was like, oh, we'll open it all together and we'll show we'll see how cool it is or whatever. So. So it was the album, the vinyl themselves are cool. They have a blue and a teal color and whatnot. And but the packaging, like the album cover itself, had 2 creases in the damn corners, which I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like if I'm going out, and I understand, like if I buy a $10-15 CD and it comes in with a little crack in it or something, that's I don't really get too pissed about that.
But I do.
Yeah, but
I do.
It is what it is. But when I go out and I spend $40 or $50 on a special edition album and it comes in just a regular box, you don't pad it, you don't do anything to protect it. That just pisses me off. It's like these companies need to protect those things because as me, I'm a collector, so I don't know if I would ever play the album. Maybe at some point, I don't know, but at this point, I probably wouldn't have because I got the CD for one, so I got both copies, but anyways, like you got that as being a collector, and now it's kind of like shitty because you got 2 corners creased all the shit on it.
Well, so can you exchange it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know because like they had me options on returning it, but I was like, well, I don't want to ship it back because then they could say, oh, well, it happened when I shipped it back, so. Yeah. I could go to the store, but then I have to get my money back and reorder it.
Right. Right.
Which, I may just look at seeing if there's another one out there or I may just call customer service period and say, look, this is bullshit.
So you got it off of Amazon, yeah?
No, I got it from Walmart. So
Walmart. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So they had they had the exclusive on it. So that's the only place you can buy those. So
okay. So because Justin had the same thing happen with that Arch Enemy album that he bought, and it was the same thing. Some of the the spine had some damage. It's doubly frustrating. It's doubly frustrating because I didn't, obviously, Justin bought the Arch Enemy album, you bought the Megadeth album, and seeing stuff like that is like doubly frustrating for me because I work in shipping and receiving,
right?
So to know that items can and should be packaged better, especially, depending on, especially in the instance of something like that, something that, could easily get damaged in transit, and especially with the way, like UPS and FedEx and even I mean, these things are, I guarantee you that package was just frisbeed into a truck.
Yeah,
They're like, oh,
probably.
this one's light. They just flung it into a truck. And God knows how many times they did that, because it's a light package. So you just, because you got to move these packages. You got to move them. Could have gotten, smushed and everything. So you got to styrofoam package it. You got to bubble wrap it. You got to do something. You got to bolster the packaging to
Right.
protect the item on the inside. So it's doubly irritating for me, because I do that shit all the time. Make sure stuff is packaged so it's safe.
Yeah, because I mean, a customer spending that kind of money don't want to get something damaged. I mean,
And then especially something like that
yeah, like a special edition. I mean, just
right.
think if I'd have went out and bought that. Just say I went out and spent $150 on the. I think, which one is it that they're doing now? The Kiss one, I think it was, with the new album cover pops. I think it's with the Kiss one. It was like $150. I was like, I'm not paying $150.
I
But
think it
but
was.
if I paid that and I got that and then they were damaged when I got them, I'd be highly fucking pissed, man, because that's the it's, first off, it's limited edition.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna send it to me damaged. Like, get the fuck out of it. Like, take some time and package these things where they're safe. I mean, I don't understand why that's such a big deal. They're like, oh well, you can take it out of the box. That's not the point. We don't want to take it out of the fucking
That's the
box.
thing. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not. That's not how you do it. You don't take it out of the box. So
no, that and like no, the albums were not. Their sales were not damaged, but that's not the point. The point is, like I said, I'm a collector, and I want my packaging to be, near perfect, if not perfect. You know what I mean? Like, but for it to be for it to come like this, is just unacceptable to me. It's like,
no, it is.
And it seems like I have more trouble with FedEx packages than I do anywhere else. So I don't know what maybe they need to quit overworking those guys or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, wouldn't be the worst idea, but I know from experience from UPS that they're just like, fuck it, move it. We gotta move it. You gotta move these packages. There's really, you could put fragile and handle with care.
Oh yeah, they're still throwing it all over the
place. They're still just chucking it. So.
Which, like I said, that's unacceptable. I'm calling them out right here. Which I don't know if anybody that's listening is a driver of any of those companies, but please take care of people's stuff.
Here's the funny thing: is by the time it gets to the driver, the damage has already been done.
That's true too. I'm more like to me, I put the blame more on the company that sold it, because when I got it, it was just in one of those cardboards, like the big, like odd shaped boxes where they just fold them over in 4 ways and then tape, stick it, which is, to me, like no wrapping, no corner protections, nothing. I mean, that's the thing to me. Like, if you're selling stuff like that, you should take the time to package it. So I blame Walmart more than anything. Whoever packaged it for Walmart. The warehouse at Walmart, just like I work for Amazon, and I've been in that side of Amazon. I'm not there anymore, but I am, have been in that side before, and like you don't, when I actually worked in that department, and packing department, and they actually used to write us up for stuff like that. So, I think it's just got a little lax, with that kind of thing. There's no accountability, so nobody cares.
I can agree with that.
So, it's like that. It's like that everywhere, probably, and that's probably why we get shitty products. So,
that is where the blame ultimately lies. Is whoever it was that actually put the album into the package. That's where the blame ultimately lies.
You could have, a padded envelope would have gave it more protection than that shit, because at least that it's kind of held in place with that, when they still had a little bit of room to move. My thing is that box was probably 3/4 of an inch thick with that in there. So I'm just like, how did you bend the box and the album that fucking bad? It's like you had to be just. I don't know. Like it's like they leaned on it trying to get it in the box. I don't know. I think they tried to throw the album to fit it in there. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
Well, enough for the ranting, I guess. But I mean, it's a rightful rant. Don't get me wrong. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, I've definitely got the in the works. I've sent in a review on it, and I'm probably just going to wind up calling and see what the best way to handle it is, because being like a special edition, themed, and I want actually they should just let me keep it and give me my damn money back, and because I mean, you can settle at a discount now at this point, but
yeah, well, because
it's damaged, but
damaged and been unwrapped, so
yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they're going to say, well, why'd you unwrap it? Well, I want to make sure the albums weren't damaged, for one, because if I have to keep it, I want to make sure that they're not fucked up too. But
right, yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we will move on to our normal. Well, if there is a normal, normal content anymore,
right? Yeah,
kind of go all over the place, but. I guess we can go into our normal content and kick off with some birthdays here from the 28th through the 3rd. All right, so on August the 28th, we had Jack Black. Of course, he's an actor, but he's also the singer and guitarist for Tenacious D, which they will be at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, which is going to be pretty cool to actually see them actually play.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
And also on August the 28th, we had Steve Whiteman, vocalist for Kix. August the 29th, Tony McAlpine, which is he's a kind of a solo guitarist. He has played in numerous band projects, but most of the time he's just solo and does teachings and stuff. So August the 30th, we had Mick Moody, guitarist for Whitesnake. We had Jens Ludwig, a guitarist for Edguy. Dave O'Darius Urungus Brockie, of course, singer and guitarist for War. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us. I didn't put the death date there for some reason. I don't know why I didn't do that, but anyway. Then we had August the 31st, we had Rudolph Schenker, a guitarist for the Scorpions, David Chastain, guitarist for, of course, Chastain. We had Reb Beach, guitarist for Winger and Whitesnake, Gene Hoglan, drummer for Testament, Death Clock, and Dark Angel. Which, I mean, some of these people, you read this and you see the bands they were in and be like, dude, they just hit the damn lottery when they were playing, because you can get into a couple of bands and big bands and be like, oh, okay, that's cool, but then you see like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, even 6 sometimes. It's like, damn, they were in some damn good bands. Like,
yeah. Well, same thing with like Gary Holt. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Just luck of the draw, man. I guess if you're that good, you're all obviously seeked out. But
right. Yeah.
August the 31st. The last one there is Simon Neal, singer and guitarist for Biffy Clyro. September 2nd, we had Dino Cazares, guitarist for Fear Factory. Sam Rivers, bassist for Limp Bizkit. And Jill Janis, vocalist for Huntress. Unfortunately passed away in 2018. And then we only had one for September 3rd. We had Valfar, vocalist for Vindir. He unfortunately passed away in 2004. And I looked this up mainly because the band's name is spelled Windir, and to the cornbread metalhead that looked like Winder. So I was like, there's no way somebody named their fucking band that. So I had to look it up, and of course it's like Swedish or something. So it's got different pronunciation to the consonant there. So
right.
I said, how do you say that in English? Actually, I asked Google, so how do you say this in English? And they're like Vendor. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go with we'll go with that, because Winder sounds like I made it up. So so happy birthday to those, and like if I missed anybody, happy birthday to those as well. And of course, if anybody out there listening has a birthday or had a birthday this week, happy birthday to you as well. And also, we have an anniversary coming up. or actually it's today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's today.
Had an
Today.
anniversary. Chris is celebrating a wedding anniversary today.
Yep. So. Today is my and my wife's 6th anniversary. So
yeah, 6 years married, but it's like, what, 15 years together.
Yeah, we've been together almost 20. We've been married for 6. So it's like we always tell everybody, we wanted to be really, really sure.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like you're like, we've been together 9 years. We'll just get married.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy anniversary, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We won't talk about mine until February. So
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's coming around.
Yeah, well, I'll be here before we know it, unfortunately. So
yeah,
the way things are going. So.
Yeah.
Hell, everything's kind of kind of goes pretty fast. So
yeah,
people are already making fun of and say, "Oh, we're so many days till Christmas." Well, I mean, it's kind of like, it's funny in a way, but in a way, it's like reality, and you're just like, "Damn, dude, that really does suck that there's only that much time till Christmas."
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's like, I don't think you're ever prepared for Christmas. So
nope.
No matter what you do, even my mom used to buy stuff like all the way throughout the year, and she still wasn't. She'd still be buying stuff at the last minute. I'm just like, you spent all year buying. How are you still buying stuff last minute? It's like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, we haven't even. Sorry, we haven't even thought about starting to.
Oh, hell no! Well,
no,
I mean, because it's it's concert season, so I mean, I always wanted to change that Wedding Crashers moment where he's just like, what season is it? Concert season.
Yeah,
I was like,
it is. Yeah,
it feels like it because I know you got a few, but I think mine are like 4 in a row. So it's kind of like boom, boom, boom. I didn't realize that. Like I said, I've done that twice this year already. I did it earlier, where I bought all that stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, I didn't realize how close it was together.
Yeah,
and now I've done it again. So
yeah, we've got 4 shows within the next month.
Mm-hmm.
So well, the next 35 days, we got 4 shows.
Yeah. So when is the Sabaton show? That's in October.
Well, Sabaton show is in October, and I haven't bought tickets for that one yet. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I still want to go to that one. I don't know if that one's going to be in the cards financially. I still hope so, but I'm not sure because we got, it's actually funny you mentioned that. I'm going to be buying my Angela Sapatrita ticket later today, and then we got to buy the tickets for the for the Death Fest.
Yeah.
Coming up. So it's going to be Bass Strikes Back, Slipknot, Angela Sapatrita, the Tennessee, the Death Fest.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope the Sabaton show is still in there somewhere. That would make 5 shows within a month. So
yeah, that's a lot of stuff to take in for that short a period of time. So Michael Schenker is in Nashville October 30th.
Well, we're going to be in Knoxville on October 30th watching Angela Sapatrita. So
is it October 30th or September 30th?
Or September 30th. Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nashville, October. Well, October 30th. That might be one to actually. That might be one to actually keep an eye out for.
Well, like I said, with everything dropping, there ain't no.
There's no telling. Yeah, there's no telling.
I mean, people can drop some stuff and then start, doing it. Because that's where the tours that we do. A lot of times we're hitting the road are only like month long. So you think about they're through October where they haven't announced anything for November or December yet, so they can swing through here in November or December. So
well, the same thing. Well, and the same thing happened. The same thing happened with the Bass Strikes Back tour. We're going to see them. We're going to see them again. Well, mainly because it's a good tour. We're going to see them twice.
Right.
But there was a possibility we wouldn't have even gone to Chattanooga in April if we would have known that they were coming to Nashville in September.
True.
Because when we went, that was the closest that the tour was coming.
Right.
And, it was only like a 2-hour drive. So I mean, we went down and we hit the show and we came back. For Chattanooga, that's an easy drive. But if we would have known that they were coming here in September, we may not have even gone down there. So they went through the first leg. We went to the Chattanooga show. And then, a little while after, they're like, hey, here's another leg. And guess what? We're coming to Nashville. And we were like, well, fuck, I guess we're going twice. So not that I'm arguing.
Yeah, they said, you know what? You need 2 legs to walk. So let's do 2. So.
That's true. And Tommy Lee needs 3 legs to play drums. So
yeah, there you go. So.
Here's the good
thing. Seemed like there would be more bass in his drums if he was.
You would think, yeah. Maybe it's too heavy for him to lift. I don't know. Yeah. But the good thing is when we go see, the Bass Strikes Back tour this time, we'll actually be able to get together with Dana because we'll actually be able to hook up and hang out with him this time. So
hopefully, so,
yeah.
Listen, something strange comes up, and
well, yeah, that's true.
Because you never know with Nashville, especially. So
true.
But yeah, so I don't know if you've seen, like, I wasn't really going to touch on that, but you brought Tommy Lee up. So I don't know if you've seen that story where he was at one of the stadium tours and he pulled out an actual wiener.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, well, at least he's making fun of himself. It's
yeah.
He's got a sense of humor about it. So
yeah. I did see that. That was actually pretty damn funny. So
yeah. I said, well, I guess. Once you see the other one, I don't know if you can unsee that though. So
that's true. That's true. That's very true.
Remember, who was that said that? Was it Ivan from Five Fingers said nobody shits that big or something?
Yeah, he did. He did.
He said that was a camera angle. Nobody shits that big. I was like, well, he's been on camera enough to know that that's not true. So.
Then yes, he is. Yeah. Yep, he sure as hell is.
All right, I guess we can get into the metal news of the week here. We got a little bit to go through.
We actually ended up with a little more than I thought we were going to. The week kind of started off a little slow, which tends to happen more often than not, which is strange. But I was actually getting a little concerned that that it was as light as it was, but things kind of picked up as we got closer to the weekend, and of course, we're always happy if we can make it through the week without having to pass along news of someone else passing away. But yeah, we almost made it. We almost made it this week, but unfortunately, we did not. So obviously, we're gonna talk about that first. Over at the PRP.com. I'm hoping that another outlet kind of picks this up, because this was kind of a short. It was kind of short, and I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know. I don't really care for when they kind of. It almost makes it seem like they're glossing over when someone passes away. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, maybe they don't have all the details yet. I don't know, because it just seems weird.
I think it happened kind of fast too. So.
That's true. That's true. I will admit that. But anyway, over at the PRP, we have Kevin Kevone Clark, aka Kevin Saya, vocalist of early New York beatdown style hardcore outfit Bulldoze, has passed away. His bandmates took to social media on September 2nd to announce his death. They stated, quote, "It is with great sadness and heavy hearts that we share the news of the passing of our singer Kevone, one of a kind. I'm sure many of you all have heard crazy stories, all which were very true. But what a lot of people don't know is that craziness was fueled by his love for music and his friends and family. We will always cherish all the times we shared, good and bad, laughs we had, and music we created. We made a mark on the hardcore scene. Although we won't be able to share the stage again like we were so excited to do, your legacy will live on through the genre of music we created, beatdown hardcore. Prayers to his wife Debbie, son Damien, and daughter Bella, and rest of his family and friends. Rest in peace, Kevone. Chris, Puta, Zach, and Mike." End quote. So that's basically the long and short of it so far. Not exactly sure how old he was, and of course don't have the cause of death or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I'm just judging by the pictures. I'd say this guy probably couldn't be any more than 50, so,
Still too young. Too young.
still way too young, of course,
I
so.
mean, when you look at Doug from King's X of '72 is still trying to perform. So I mean, it's like,
Mhm.
and that tripped me out when I read that story too. I'm just like '72, like holy shit. But,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he was that old. But yeah, so yeah, 50 is definitely.
Yeah, definitely gone too soon.
Especially like I said, especially in this industry, when you look at how many people are out there in their 70s still performing. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of unfortunate. So especially for hopefully they can figure out a way to keep the band going for the fans' sake. But
Yeah.
if not, that's understandable too. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if he's I'm sure there's more than one founder. So it's kind of like what we talked about with Pantera, like so I guess these guys shouldn't keep going because one of their members died. So
Mhm.
um,
Even though if you were able to ask, if you were able to ask him, now that he's gone, you can't. But I mean, even if you were to ask
right,
him, if something ever happens to you, do you want the band to keep going? I'm sure, 99% of the time a musician would be like, yes, I would want the band to, if something happens to me, because, the music, we want the music to live on. We want people to be
right.
able to still hear it. You know, again, same thing with Pantera. We won't get off onto that again, even though we
Right.
could. But,
Well, I guess the 1% that wouldn't say they care would be Axl Rose, right?
yeah, Axl Rose and Gene Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, my first story is over from Metal Hammer here. Evil guitarist, vocalist, and lead songwriter Old Drake. Is it? How does he spell his first name? I mean, I honestly pronounce it. Do you know?
I
I
think
know
it's just
you're
like I think it's just
just
like
like old.
like
Okay,
just like
okay.
you know
I just want to make sure I'm not like a.
yeah. As far as I know, that's how he says it. Just because he spells it like OL apostrophe. Like he's
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
abbreviate the word old. I
right,
don't, which
right.
is weird. I don't get it. I mean, it's a 3-letter word. You're trying to abbreviate it. So I mean,
So, anyways, when
but
you're
yeah,
eval, you can do those things. But
that's true.
but he has announced that he is putting on a special 12-hour family fundraiser live stream to help raise money for he and his family. The fundraiser will take place on Twitch on Sunday, September 4th from 12 to midnight UK time. Don't know what that time zone is there, so if you would have to look that up for if you're here in the States. But Drake's pledging to take requests for song playthroughs, host special giveaways, and answer fan questions. Quote, honesty time. Dedicating 20 plus years of my life to music has taken its toll on me over the years, states the guitarist in an Instagram post, not only physically and mentally, but also financially. It's no secret that musicians struggle, and my family and I are in need of help as a result of the above. As a means to raise some funds, I will be holding a 12-hour family fundraiser live stream to help us get back into the black a little on Sunday, September 4th from noon to midnight UK time. I'll be taking requests all day, picked at random, holding some eval giveaways and chatting Q&A and other things. It'll be free to watch the stream at twitch.tv/old Drake. Pretty interesting. Like I said, even bands that have been around a while still struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty sad to hear because I mean I know me and you both kind of like eval, so
Yeah.
of course not the last album, not as much as the previous albums, but
Yeah. I still,
still
I would,
beside the point. It's still a good
yeah,
album.
yeah. No, I enjoyed it, but I mean, I still would like to know what happened, with Matt,
Mm-hmm.
because I never did hear anything about why Matt isn't in the band anymore. So,
Yeah, who knows? Like it would be something
yeah,
we need to research a little, I guess.
yeah. But yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out that live stream, look it up
Yeah,
look it up over
if
there.
you're,
Look it up
if you're
over there on Twitch. And I'm wanting to say, I don't know how far ahead the UK is from here, but I know we've had Devil on the show, and I know
true,
we've had Source of Rage and the Defaced. So if I
I think it's
remember correctly,
like 5:30 there, something like that.
I I think, let's see, that's 7 hours ahead. That might be Sweden.
Okay.
I think Sweden was 7 hours ahead of us. So I think the UK might be 5. I don't know, man. I'm just totally guessing, but yeah,
Look it up real quick.
you guys have to look that up. But uh, so yeah. All right. This next one I've got is
Yeah,
a little strange.
it says it's 4:30 there now. So
Fourth. So they're all right. So they're 6 hours ahead. Okay,
yeah.
6 hours ahead. Okay. All right. So this one is a little strange. This one definitely isn't good news at all. It's not. But you know, it's not a death. But this one is really this is a serious one, and I've got two different stories about it from
Hmm.
two different sources. I'm gonna start with the one over at Blabbermouth first, because the one over at the PRP is kind of like a follow up, and it's from the other members of the band's perspective. So first we're gonna start off at Blabbermouth. We have Osis's founding guitarist and vocalist Scott Kelly has publicly admitted to engaging in quote the emotional, financial, verbal, and physical abuse of his wife and children. The 55-year-old has also announced that he is 100% permanently retired from being a professional musician, adding that my sole focus for the rest of my life is on taking care of my family, allowing them a safe place to heal and rebuild their trust. In a lengthy statement posted to his Facebook page, Kelly wrote, quote, due to recent events, I feel that I clearly need to address some rumors and set the record straight. For the past several years, I have engaged in the emotional, financial, verbal, and physical abuse of my wife and younger children. When I became paranoid that people were going to find out, I found ways to keep my wife and kids from work and school and created divisions with friends and family members. I became obsessed with control and used threats, manipulation, threats of self harm and suicide, inflicted physical damage on people and their reputations, all to keep that control. When I knew my wife was going to leave, I tried to convince her and others that I was crazy and seeing things and that I did not know what I was doing. She tried to help me with therapy and psychiatrists. My lies and deceptions fell apart in front of the professionals. When my wife finally tried to leave, I stalked and harassed her day and night and caused her and our youngest to live in a constant state of fear. I have lied or told half truths to so many people about so much of this that I can't keep track of them. I don't want to lie about any of this anymore. I love my wife. She is the best person that I know. She is intensely honest, loving, and good to her core. This letter is massive simplification of the irreparable damage I have caused and the unforgivable things that I have done to her and our kids. To say more in this public forum would not help anyone. As the truth has started to leak out, there have been people who have tried to blame my wife for my abuse to give me an out, and people who have spread ridiculous and damaging rumors about her. This is fucked. So much better. If you are adopting this mentality or spreading these rumors, you need to fucking stop. I have some serious issues that I am dealing with, and I have separated myself from anyone who is connected with my public life so that I can focus on my own toxic shit. When my wife has been kind enough to answer questions about my absence, she has faced crazy accusations. There was a recent situation that was so fucked up that it necessitated immediate action on my part to set the record straight. My wife absolutely speaks for me in my absence, and I have already said she is intensely honest. If you don't want the truth, definitely don't ask her questions. Additionally, it is never appropriate to approach or question our children. I know now that choosing to live a public life and be on stage was the worst decision that I could have made given the way that I am. I have hidden behind the attention and unfounded respect and adulation. I used my social position to directly and indirectly manipulate all of you and to hide of my family. I got satisfaction from my deception and perceived control of everyone involved. I am 100% permanently retired from being a professional musician. Some people can be in a scene like this where there is no accountability and maintain their integrity. I cannot. My sole focus for the rest of my life is on taking care of my family, allowing them safe space to heal and rebuilding their trust. I hope putting this out there will protect my wife from further attacks and finally allow my family some peace. End quote. Kelly is one of the three founding members of Oakland, California experimental metal band Neurosis. He has been writing and publishing music since 1985 with Neurosis, Tribes of Neurot, Blood, and Time, and his solo acoustic project. He was also involved in a project called Shrine Builder with Al Cisneros, Scott Weinrich, and Dale Crover. In addition, he has guested on several studio albums by the band Mastodon. So we've talked on this show like I don't know how many times. It's been countless amount of times where bands have gone on hiatus, bands that split up. I mean, Every Time I Die is a good example, and even As I Lay Dying to a certain extent. But
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about it multiple times about how people are starting to realize that their mental health is in danger, or something isn't right, so they're starting to take a step back, or they're just leaving the band altogether so they can focus on getting their minds right. But this is the first time that, at least I can recall, on the show where we've had a story like this, where somebody has admitted anything close to like this.
Right.
Emotional, financial, verbal, and physical. So there's no telling how far this has gone and for how
Mm-hmm.
long. So this is major league stuff that this guy is admitted to. So I don't know. I don't know what all is going to be involved in him getting back to where he needs to be, and if his family is going to even be able to stay together. So
I
who
mean, if
knows?
you, I
Who
mean,
knows?
the thing that got me was you had them to a point where they're living in fear.
Right.
So that right there is like, that's the point to where you have to draw a line somewhere. It's
Hmm.
like, you either have to realize it or they make you realize it.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure if he got arrested and that opened him up. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that in
Yeah.
the story, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So,
Right.
but usually you got a woman living in fear, especially if she's protecting her children. Then the mama bear comes out, then you got problems. So not necessarily you know with her, but she would get police involved or whatever,
Hmm.
because that's just unacceptable. I mean, you made this family, just like when I was a pro wrestler, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do a lot of things that I should have done, is because of my family, because that was more important to me. Family was more
Hmm.
important to me. So, um,
Yeah.
not saying that, uh, I'm not blaming anybody for, anything. That's just the way that I did things. Was I try to put my family first. Yeah, I went out and did what I could to try to make a living at it, but it didn't pan out. Like, if I made a living at it, then who knows if I'd still have a family. I mean, obviously things work out the way they're
Right.
supposed to for a reason. So it's like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad about that. But anyway, back to the point is that you you made that family. I don't know if he had the family before neurosis or not, but beside the
Yeah.
point
I
is
don't
is
know.
is is you made that family, and you made a commitment to that family, and now that you should never have them in fear.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. It would be one thing to, it would be one thing to just not be around because you're always on tour. Because
right.
you hear stories about that all the time. When like, even because even we've even heard like Jack Osborne say that same kind of
Right.
thing. Talk about Ozzy, he was gone all the time. So so that's one thing. But then when you are around, and you just make everyone around you miserable by being just mean, and
Right.
and no one knows what's gonna set you
Well,
off. I don't
so,
know who knows if he was. And that's the funny thing, is who knows if he was like, I don't know if there was like drugs and alcohol involved. I don't know
right.
if there's any of that involved. I don't know how far. I don't know how far the physical abuse went. I don't know if it was just. I don't know if it was just on his wife, or if it was on his wife and the kids. There's no details in here at all. So
So,
all we're left to do is, unfortunately, all we're left to do is speculate.
right. I want to put
'Cause
this in
I
perspective.
hate doing that.
I want to put this in perspective too, because we see successful relationships in wrestling, a lot, because they travel together, and they do things together. But I actually give more props to people like Alyssa White, that's dating, what's his name, Von Frankenstein or whatever his name
Doyle,
is.
yeah,
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 yeah. But
Doyle Wolfgang von
so
Frankenstein. Yeah.
I just seen a post. I follow her, of course, on
Hmm.
social media. So I just seen a post where they said, oh well, we're going to spend this next 12 weeks together, and then we won't see each other until February or something. I'm just like, wow, that's crazy, or December or
Hmm.
something. So I mean, they spend a lot of time apart. So
Yeah.
when you're in a band, it's different, because you can't always take that person on tour with you. So Especially with them playing that much different style of music. So,
Right.
uh, but yeah, so it's a lot different perspective when you think about it musically, because wrestling, you're under contract, and you're doing you're doing things together a lot, because both of you are under the same contract. So you're going to the same cities. You're going, you're all that type thing. So it's a lot different. Like I said, especially with seeing that, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, how have you guys been together this long? That's pretty strong right there. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but but yeah. So anyway, back to that subject, it's kind of like that could be, you know, time away from the family, because may have been his mental breakdown. Who knows? I mean,
It could have been. It could have been. I don't
but
know.
then he took it out, because a lot of times you take it out on the people you love. So um,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what it's going to mean going forward.
right,
We don't know if, him and his family are going to be able to stay together. He said he's focused on, healing and rebuilding trust and everything. But that's the thing is, I mean, it doesn't, there's no telling if it's going to work or if his wife is ultimately going to
right.
stay, so just hopefully it's not, hopefully he hasn't done, he said he's done irreparable damage. I'm assuming it's probably just emotionally and mentally.
Right,
I hope to God it's not physically, obviously,
right.
but
Well,
so
another scenario we have to look at is, if it doesn't work out and he's done all this, then where is he going to be mentally at this after that? Because I mean, he's gonna want, he walked away from the band,
yeah.
and now he loses what he's trying to save. So hopefully that doesn't
Hmm.
happen, and it puts him into a mental state that may not turn out to be he may turn out to be a top news story, unfortunately.
Well,
But we,
yeah,
we,
I mean,
we, we
let's,
hopefully it doesn't lead to that. But
yeah, we definitely hope not. And I hope, and I don't know how old his children are. It just says in the story that they're quote unquote younger children. So I mean, I don't know how
mhm.
old they are. Uh
Usually
Hopefully
when they say that, they're talking about, they're
like
not they're
toddlers.
not they're not as teens yet. So they're definitely under the teenage years. So
Oh, okay. Well, so hopefully it hasn't really, because I mean, this may sound weird, but like adults can kind of really can pull themselves out of that a little easier.
right,
But children literally have no idea what's going on.
right,
All they know is what they see, and so hopefully whatever's going on, they can bounce back from it, and it doesn't affect them long term.
right. All right. Well, then
So
what's the follow up
yeah,
segment?
the follow, I know, right? The follow up the follow up is basically from the side of the bandmates here.
Mhm.
So over at the PRP, in light of Neurosis vocalist guitarist Scott Kelly having recently publicly admitted to abusing his wife and children, his former bandmates in the influential based post metal outfit have released a statement of their own. Over the weekend, Kelly issued a public statement outlining his years of emotional, financial, verbal, and physical abuse against his wife and younger children, while also confessing to lying about it to friends, family, and more. In the same statement, Kelly also stated that he has since permanently retired from being a professional musician. Speaking via social media today, being August 29th, so this was a few days ago, obviously, Neurosis revealed that they fired Kelly at the end of 2019 after first learning of his abuse. Their statement on the matter reads as follows, quote, "We cannot overstate the level of disgust and disappointment we feel for a man who we once called brother. As a band, we parted ways with Scott Kelly at the end of 2019 after learning about severe acts of abuse he committed towards his family over the previous years. In the past, Scott had disclosed his marital difficulties and acts of verbal abuse, as well as the intention to get help and change his behaviors. The information we learned in 2019 made it clear Scott had crossed the line and there was no way back. We did not share this information out of respect for his wife's direct request for privacy and to honor the family's wish not to let their experience become gossip in a music magazine. With Scott's Facebook post of August 27th disclosing much of this information publicly, we can finally say what we believe needs to be said. For the last 20 years, we have lived far apart from one another and only saw Scott when meeting up to work on music or play shows. We had no idea what the reality was for his family when we were not around. By Scott's own abuse was intentional, targeted, and a closely guarded secret, even from those of us closest to him. Once we learned of his abuse, it was difficult to reconcile the horrible information with the person we thought we knew. It's not surprising he hid the abuse for so long because it is a betrayal of our ethics as bandmates, partners, parents, and human beings. Since 2019, we have made numerous attempts to contact Scott. We wanted to have an honest talk about the status of the band and find out how he and his family were doing, but he has refused to speak with us for 3 years. And in what we now clearly see to be a pattern, Scott refused to take responsibility for his actions. Having been through so much with someone for more than 35 years, one would expect some amount of closure or at the very least a response. Now, without returning any of the calls, texts, or emails of his bandmates and friends, Scott has made a public post about the situation. To us, this decision seems like another attempt at manipulation, another opportunity for his narcissism to control the narrative. Don't allow Scott to make this about himself. It's about the abuse his family has suffered. Usually we would view public openness and honesty about mental illness as brave and even productive. We just don't believe that this is the case. There is nothing brave about systematically abusing your wife and children. There is nothing brave about confessing wrongdoing when you have not done the work to change your behavior. There is nothing brave about refusing to speak honestly or speak at all with one's closest friends and bandmates, people who have supported you and stuck by you for most of your life. Compared to the impact of Scott's actions on his family, the impact of our band pales in significance. Nevertheless, with the heartbreak and horror, we also grieve for the loss of our life's work and a legacy that was sacred to us. Again, our primary concern is for the safety and well-being of Scott's wife and children, as well as anyone else in a similar situation. If someone you know is experiencing domestic violence or abuse, please reach out to one of the many local or national resources available. One national resource is the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233 at www.thehotline.org. If you or someone you know is suffering from mental health issues that could make you a danger to yourself or others, please get help before you hurt yourself or the people you love. One resource for that is www.988lifeline.org. This is the only statement we plan to make about this issue. In due course, when it's appropriate, we will provide more information about our future musical endeavors, but that time is not now. Which, I mean, those websites and that phone number, definitely use those if you feel you need them. They're there for a reason. They're there to help. They're there to help you, or they're there to help anyone who, Yeah, I mean, personally, if you need it, reach out. If there are people that you know that are being affected by it, maybe reach out on their behalf. Help somebody before it's too late. Likewise, Sanford Parker, who performed alongside Kelly in Corrections House and Mirrors for Psychic Warfare, has also issued a statement condemning his former friend and bandmate. The statement was shared overnight and reads as follows. Quote, just a friendly reminder. I barely use Facebook, so if you message me here, I probably won't see it. Please email me here, thesanford@gmail.com. I only keep my account active as a promotional tool. The only time I check Facebook these days is when someone calls me and says, dude, did you see the crazy shit Homeboy just posted? Which leads me to my next topic. In response to Scott Kelly's post, I would like to make it crystal clear that during the active years of Corrections House and Mirrors for Psychic Warfare, I had no idea the level of abuse Scott was inflicting onto his family. He always talked about his mental illness and things he did in the past he regretted, but nothing like this. Over the last 12 plus years, he and I have spent countless time together. I would be with him every second of every day for months at a time, often just the two of us, and I've never seen this side of him. Not even close. It's truly mind-blowing his level and power of manipulation he has on people. In January of 2020, Scott cut off all contact with me for no reason. I tried repeatedly reaching out via text, emails, and phone calls, and nothing. I tried several times reaching out to his wife, but was told everything was okay. Then in March of 2021, he sent me a lengthy, detailed email about the abuse she and the kids had experienced, and it was honestly the most disturbing thing I have ever read. It made me physically ill. I wish I could unsee it. By that point, though, the damage had been done. I knew they were away from him and safe. I poured my heart and soul into Corrections House and Mirrors for Psychic Warfare, and now they are rotten. I will never have the same pride for those bands I once did, and that truly hurts. This has been hard for me to process over the past year, but by this point in my life, I am used to it, and I move on. I see a lot of people praising him for his honesty, and that's total bullshit. He deserves no praise. I have no sympathy for Scott, and neither should you. I do have much love for his family, and I really hope they are able to heal and move forward, end quote. In addition to the above outfits, Kelly has also been a prominent collaborator with Mastodon, having guested on 6 of their studio albums while also having toured with the band to reprise those guest roles. Thus far, Mastodon have yet to comment on the matter. And I guess depending on if, when, or what they say, we we may pass that along also. But
or if they say anything, Mastodon's,
if they say anything.
Because you're looking at, Mastodon's a much bigger band, so you don't want to do anything that's going to damage your band image either. So, so they may just stay out. I think to me, if I was Mastodon, I'd be like, I think whatever needs to be said has been said, and I don't think there's anything I can add to it that would make a difference. So,
maybe
that's probably the way to go there. So.
Yeah. So who knows? Because like you said, by the time Mastodon says anything, they'll probably just rehash what the other former bandmates have said. We didn't know. We're upset. We hope the family's okay. Not trying to say they'll downplay it, because I'm sure they know Scott just as well as these other former bandmates, and they're going to be just as upset. But I mean,
right.
Who knows if they would say anything new.
Well, I think the thing is like, if the guy hadn't said anything, then the band probably wouldn't have said anything. You know what I mean? So they kind of like left it, like they said, as respect for the family. So
right.
Once he did that, then that kind of makes me think that maybe he is seeking attention. So I mean, if it's been that long, I mean, why are we just not hearing about it? So
yeah,
I guess that's the main thing. So.
Obviously we hope that the family ends up being okay, regardless of whether or not his wife sees fit to stay and she forgives him, and she thinks that there's a chance that maybe they can stay together and everything can kind of move forward. If there's a chance that trust can be rebuilt and all that stuff. So I mean, I just hope that. I mean, sure, you hope that the guy can get his mind right and everything can change, and you hope he is true to his word that he wants to take care of his family and all that stuff. You hope he's true to his word, but obviously the people who are the victims here are his wife and his kids. Hope that whatever happens going forward, whether he's part of the picture, he's out of the picture, that they'll be okay. That's what you hope for ultimately.
That was your mom, I guess, saying hello. I was like,
I was actually just about to say someone said hello, son, but it's showing up as Facebook user. So
yeah, sure it was your mom. So.
Oh, hey, mom.
Yeah, and then it looked like the other Facebook user. I was thinking that was Dana, but it's not. So,
who was it?
It was David Potts. So,
okay. Hey, David, what's happening, man?
So we got. Sorry, we got 5 different posts from, like, I'll have a post, he'll have a post, the group has a post, the page has a post, so yeah. we never know who's commenting on what post. So
yeah,
that's what threw me off. Usually everything comes through on the page post, but those didn't. So I'm just like, so. Maybe because they haven't liked the page yet. Shame on you. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, we don't want to ignore anybody. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you commenting and stopping by. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we need to carry on to a different topic until we find out more information. Because, like I said, right. I don't want to bury the guy for anyway, because he obviously needs help. So you don't really want to bury anybody that needs help. So
yeah.
Like I said, if it's in a case as bad as the band says, then we do hope that the family is safe and nothing. They kind of can get their worries out of the way with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe like I said, it almost sounds like it's a case of where he's trying to dig his way back into the family's life almost from what they said to what he said. So who knows, man? But I just hope it all works out and everybody gets into a situation that's healthy for everybody. So
right.
All right, I'm going to stick with Metal Hammer here for another one. With Partway Drive about to drop their new killer album, Darker Still, Metal Hammer is proud to team up with the Australian Metal Heroes for this exclusive bundle. The special edition of the magazine features an exclusive variant cover, plus a custom designed patch. Only 300 bundles are available worldwide, so get yours while you can. Speaking to Speaking to us for the future cover, frontman Winston McCall revealed that inspirations behind Darker Steel and why the band have gone full some kind of monster by going into group therapy like Metallica did in the early 2000s. Quote, we all have our role in this band, and my role is the face and the emotional core, says Winston. I had been pouring so much of myself into the band for so long, and the other guys are not lyric guys. They're just music guys. So I don't think they understood just how hard it was for me to get up and connect with these songs every single night. End quote. Issue 365 also features Korn, Eddie Munson, How Long, Lacuna Coil, Limp Bizkit, Bloody Wood, Ozzy Osbourne, and much, much more. Order your copy of the exclusive Parkway Drive bundle online and get it delivered straight to your door. So you can order it over there at Metal Hammer. But hopefully they package it a little bit better than Walmart does. So,
yeah.
So. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to like keep dwelling on that topic, but like I said, hopefully that they'll have a little bit more care for their packaging. Than that still blows my mind.
It's definitely frustrating. It's frustrating.
I guess because it may be like the first time that's ever happened. I guess too. So it's kind of like, I've ordered special editions, not really from Walmart. I've usually ordered straight from the band. Like I got stuff straight from Nonpoint before that were signed and autograph albums or whatever. But they were definitely packaged better than that. So,
just have some pride in your work, basically.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I'm moving over to Metal Injection for the next one, and if you ever wondered what happened to Stone Sour, well, I mean, here it's kind of here's what Corey Taylor has to say about it. Stone Sour went on an indefinite hiatus in 2020, and there's been no sign that they might get back together anytime soon. In an interview with Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk, William Savant's favorite show.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, William. We love you, buddy. Vocalist Corey Taylor opened up about his feelings toward his former bandmates, saying they've still got their issues with one another. Quote, to me, I've done the time doing stuff in a, for lack of a better term, band situation. And the reason why I stick with Slipknot is because that to me is the one that kind of started everything, said Taylor as transcribed by Blabbermouth. But Stone Sour, there's still so much drama and issues between the members. To me, it's just not something I desire to do. And songs in Stone Sour that I want to play are the ones that I wrote in the first place. So to me, I would rather go out with a group of dudes who I've known forever and have a great time playing these songs and have the audience enjoy it because they see a bunch of dudes up there enjoying it than try to force issues on an audience that nobody really wants to be a part of. Let's put it that way. Taylor later clarified that he's not interested in throwing anyone under the bus, but that he still cares about his former bandmates. Well, when it comes to my band, past I've been very open to talking about it, but I'm very reticent about talking about things that deal with people who I care about. And whether there are issues or not, I still care about them. So it's tough. I have to rein myself in because I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus because 9 times out of 10 I could be the problem too. As for if Stone Sour will ever do anything ever again, Taylor doesn't totally rule it out. Quote, I just know that at this point in my life, I have more reasons to love the solo thing than I do to try and do something with Stone Sour. Now, am I saying that it'll never happen? No, because you never know. Something might come up and we could get an opportunity to do something for charity, and we all get together and we do something really, really cool. But my immediate plans right now, there's no Stone Sour in the future, end quote. So there you go. So, and again, who knows what the internal stuff might be, but you get a bunch of grown men in a group and put them in close quarters for a long time, and shit could.
I think Corey handled that pretty well too.
I think so too.
I mean, he's not a dumb guy. So,
no.
He understands that preserving the integrity of the bands, should be the first and foremost. So he's not going to throw anybody under the bus for that reason. So
yeah. he did admit, he said, I could be part of the problem too. So he
Yeah,
didn't just say,
yeah,
I don't know what the hell the
right.
problem is. I have no idea, man. I don't know. I mean, you know,
That, and I think that when a lot of those members have went on to do other things and pretty successful at it too. So
hmm
so I mean, I don't think it's a such a big deal to them either because they're actually doing other things too. So you got the you know and I think it's that guy from Stone Sour Alter Bridge that does the Life Project. I can't remember.
it's Josh
That's what I
Raymond.
thought. Yeah, that's
It's
what I
from the
thought.
Life. It's from Stone Sour. Yeah, he's got the
Yeah,
Life project going on.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so yes, I mean there's that, and there's other things with the other guitarists in the band too. I know he does some other stuff too.
hmm
Like I said, they're not bored for sure. So
No,
yeah.
I would think
Yeah.
not.
All right, so this one is over from Blabbermouth. Having sold over 12 million albums worldwide, Wasp was one of the preeminent major label American heavy metal bands of the 80s. Formed in 1982 in Los Angeles, the band built a large and dedicated global following with its eponymous debut album and subsequent releases, including The Last Command, Into the Electric Circus, The Headless Children, and more. Managed by legendary Iron Maiden manager Rod Smallwood, the band played some of the seminal concerts of the era, including multiple visits to renowned Monsters of Rock Festival in England in '87 and '92, and also toured the globe with other seminal acts such as Kiss, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Metallica, Dokken, and many more. Wasp by Ross Halfin starts at the very beginning in Hollywood, California, where photographer Ross Halfin shot the band for the first time at the Troubadour, the famous club on Santa Monica Boulevard, which launched the careers of many artists, including Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Elton John, just to name a few. Ross would work with the band right away uh, through this period. Right? What did it say? Work with this band right the way through this period. Okay, whatever. From the I don't know. They added a word in there that threw me off. From the
Yeah.
small clubs to headlining venues such as Long Beach Arena and Hammersmith Odeon. This book offers a unique insight into the classic period of Wasp with an array of Ross's fantastic dramatic live photos, coupled with candid offstage reportage capturing the humor and spirit of the characters behind the instruments, as well as studio sessions that would become iconic and defining for the band. In addition to the photography, former Wasp guitarist and co-songwriter Chris Holmes provides anecdotes and memories throughout the book, sharing insights and stories for the very first time that provide a truly exceptional commentary that is an absolute must for all fans of the band. There are also forewords from the Smallwood and Halfin sharing their own perspectives and experiences with one of America's most notorious and influential metal bands of that era. This 300-page plus coffee table book features a 3D lenticular cover, is bound in red recycled leather, and presented in a protective slipcase. Only 300 numbered copies are available worldwide, and each copy is personally signed by Holmes. The book costs £275 plus shipping worldwide, whatever that is in American dollars. Pre-order starts on Friday, September 2nd, which was yesterday at 3 p.m. UK time, and the book will ship at the end of November. A 10% pre-order discount can be claimed with the code WASP2022 at the checkout. So if you haven't purchased one yet and you want to use that code, there you go. So pretty interesting. That'd be some probably pretty interesting stories in there. So,
Probably.
especially with Wasp, Blackie Lawless as well. So
No shit. Well, Chris Holmes wasn't exactly an angel himself, so.
yeah, well that's true too. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what 275 pounds would be. Yeah, I'm not real sure, but I don't think it's cheap though. So
yeah, definitely.
hang on.
I want to say so.
Let me see what that. Let me see. No
This is
way.
a little more than American dollars, I think. So
Yeah, 275 pounds says it's $316 in the U.S.
yeah, that's probably about
Holy
right. So,
shit, man!
that's an expensive book.
That is an expensive book. Damn.
Yeah, better not get damaged in shipping.
No kidding. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you better bubble wrap that shit and then put the packing peanuts in it for
yeah.
$316. Holy
No
shit.
shit.
And then you got to pay to have it shipped. Good God.
Right. Right. Well, that's why they're giving you that 10%. Save on the taxes, I
Well,
guess.
that's true. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
that, I guess. All right. Well, I'm going over to Blabbermouth next, and I guess the timing of this is good considering that the album just came out yesterday. But Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine, who was diagnosed with throat cancer in May of 2019, spoke with the Irish Times about how his battle with the disease has affected the way he approaches his life, both on and off the stage. He said, quote, "I think I'm 100%. I got my all clear from the doctor in October of 19. I should be coming up on my 3-year anniversary. That's pretty cool stuff. Worked really hard and on the nutrition and all the personal stuff that I had to do outside the hospital. The doctors set up this really brutal program to address the cancer. They wanted to kill it without having to do any surgery. I told the doctors that I was a little concerned that Eddie Van Halen had part of his tongue cut out. Bruce Dickinson, the Iron Maiden lead singer, and actor Michael Douglas had got it too, and I was part of the club. We had a great program. My doctors are really great. Whenever anybody goes to see a doctor and gives you the all clear for your health, you are usually really, really grateful. It doesn't have any power over me anymore. I want to make sure that people don't get discouraged when they hear news like that. I went to 2 doctors in Tennessee, and they know how important it was for me to continue singing." Mustaine previously discussed his life after his cancer battle during an appearance this past May on Full Metal Jackie's nationally syndicated radio show. He said, quote, "Well, obviously there's a diet. There's the food sources and liquids and how they affect my blood, my sugar in my blood, the dairy stuff in my blood. But I've never really worried too much about that because I kind of just have gone out there and screamed my point across. So I think that's one thing that as I try and live a cleaner life because of the cancer. I'm cancer free now, thank God." He continued, "I just went and saw my radiologist, and he told me in October of 2019 was the month that they had said that I was cancer free. So I'm coming up on, I think, 3 years now. I don't even think about it anymore, but it was something that made me take into consideration life in general. Not so much what I do when I get on stage, but just how much do I really appreciate the people around me? How much do I have a capacity in my heart to tolerate people that get on my nerves? Am I going to send somebody away mad at each am I going to send somebody away mad at each other and never see them again? It's been a real eye-opening experience. I just noticed on TV too that they're starting to do commercials about this type of cancer, and I'd never seen this before in my life, and now I'm seeing it on TV, and I'm thinking, wow, this is crazy. They've used to never have these kind of massive sicknesses like this where you have television commercials about throat cancer. It used to be just cancer, 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 not into specifics like this. Now you know something really weird's happening, and it happens to a lot of people, I'm told. So I would just encourage people to be healthy, kick ass, take down names. And if you're an adult male and you have any respect for yourself and the people around you that you love, go get yourself checked up, which is something that Jason's always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jackie pointed out that guys generally do not like going to the doctor to get themselves checked out, Mustaine said, quote, "I think that's the whole tough guy attitude. There's a stigmatism that if you go to a doctor, they're going to stick something up your butt. And I think that's one of the worst things that people misconstrue. It's not always, hey, turn your head and cough. I suggest you go in for a sore throat and he checks your ass. You're in the wrong place, dude." The 60-year-old Megadeth.
That's usually in prison when that happens.
That's right. The 60-year-old Megadeth guitarist vocalist revealed his cancer battle in June 2019 on social media, saying that doctors had given him a 90% chance of beating the illness. So yeah, it's good that Dave seems to be cancer free. What happened? Man, it's not a great day for the to be having of course, it's never a great day to be having technical difficulties, but first mine and now his. So who knows? But as we've said before, this is the beauty of doing a show live. And honestly, the issues we've had this morning aside, I still wouldn't have it any other way. I still like the fact that we do this live, that any little hiccups are out there, so I don't think it would have quite the same feel if we did the show, recorded it, and then like chopped it up for you, and polish it up and everything else. So, I really don't mind too much, other than, like earlier when my Wi-Fi went, that kind of pissed me off. But I'll be back shortly. His technical difficulties usually don't last too long. For some reason, my Wi-Fi takes longer to reboot than his does, if that's actually the issue. But so I expect to see him back shortly. But in the meantime, let's see what we got here. I got some other ones. Staying over at Blabbermouth, Modern Drummers magazine readers have voted Slipknot's Jay Weinberg as the #1 metal drummer in the publication's 2022 readers poll. Earlier today, today being September 1st, so this story's a couple of days old. Earlier today, Jay revealed the following statement via social media, quote, "It is truly an honor to be named Metal Drummer of the Year in the 2022 Modern Drummer Readers Poll. I distinctly remember being a teenager buying my first copy of Modern Drummer magazine at my local drum shop. It's surreal and humbling to receive this recognition. Thank you so much to Modern Drummer, the entire MD community, and everyone who voted. Your support means the world to me. Thomas, Brand, Eloy, and Matt, you guys know how much your music means to me. Thank you all for the endless inspiration you've given the worldwide drumming, everything you do to push forward. Thank you to my wife at Chloe Weinberg, our dog Haya, Papaya, my parents and siblings, and my bandmates in Slipknot for the love and encouragement. I owe you all a debt of gratitude I can never repay. To everyone who's been in my corner all these years, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it." End quote. Jay discovered Slipknot when he was through his father Max of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band and leader of the house band on Conan O'Brien's talk show. He was hooked immediately and was a huge fan of Slipknot by the time he was invited to LA to try out as replacement for Joey Jordison in 2013. For the first few months after the release of 2014's Point 5 The Grey Chapter, the members of Slipknot had declined to name the musicians who were playing drums and bass on their tour, despite the fact that their identities were revealed as Weinberg and bassist Alessandro V. Man Venturella by a disgruntled former drum tech for Slipknot who posted a picture of a backstage call sheet on Instagram. Slipknot announced it split with Jordison in December 2013, but did not disclose the reasons for the exit. The drummer subsequently issued a statement saying that he did not quit the group. So congratulations to Jay Weinberg on being voted the Drummer of the Year. I'd say it's probably pretty well earned honor.
Oh yeah.
I kind of read that one while you were away there for a second. So
yeah, surprise. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should just end the show with "Stay Classy, San Diego." We won't have shit. All right, so I don't know why I do this shit to myself, but actually, this is over from Metal Sucks. This is actually going to be a little lengthy because it's kind of ties into what we kind of do here is to introduce you to some new bands. And of course, it's a lot of Swedish bands, so you know how much I love reading Swedish names. So I'm going to butcher some shit, so just bear with me and overlook me and just roll on and look at the bands. Look at the bands.
There you go.
I'll spell it if I need to, but
yeah, there you go.
So, or I may type it out in the comments. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, anyway. In the words of and of course it's going to start out fucking with me. So in the words of Nicholas Kavarforth, I'm gonna say it's pretty close, but I don't know. There's something really wicked going on, which I think many of the Swedish people are responsible for, and thank God for that. Sweden has gave the world some of the greatest black metal bands of all time. Where would music be today without the contributions of Bathory and the Almighty Dissection? Anyone who doesn't love Niflheim and Abruptum just justifies the existence of Gehenna's song, "The Beat That Poser Down." Speaking of what's true, there has never been a frontman more poser averse than the late Per Yngve Olin, aka Dead, who famously relocated to Norway to join Mayhem. The young Swede will always be remembered as black metal's most important muse. If you are looking for more quality music that doesn't exactly sell like Watain, you'll love Dimhim, Omnazide, Nefinsi, Chaos Order, Avsky, Graf Vitnir, Cardinal Sin, and then it's IXXI, so I'm guessing it's a Roman numeral. Was that 9911? So yeah, actually it is 9/11. So
yeah, it would be 9/11.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's in Roman numerals. So
mm-hmm.
Angst, live Sleda, Mortis, and the highly influential Offermod. The genre-fusing Swordmaster stars and tons of nostalgic fun as well. If you like your metal raw and sleazy, we suggest that you get down and dirty with Hammerfuck from 2001, the lone EP by the
Okay.
lone EP by a band called Latex, which featured two Lord Belial members. Before you delve into those recommendations, however, enjoy our main list of Swedish bands that deserve more appreciation, which, like I said, is kind of what we do here. So, as exceptional and in some cases classic as these groups are, the sad truth is that your average metal fan is more likely to have heard about Lord Araman, Corpse Paint Soap than any of their records. Okay. Our picks include some, I haven't heard of that either, so I guess I'm in the dark about all of it. Our picks include some seriously sinister satanists, practitioners of dark magic, and kind of eccentrics you will just have to hear to believe. Get ready for blood, fire, death. So the first band on here was Valkyrja. It's Valkyrja. I'll try to type that out real quick. Let's see, VAL. Well, I said I would, but this damn shit just popped up. I guess because I'm typing on the wrong damn thing. That may help. Oh, man. This is fucking. Gotta love no sleep, man. All right, that's how it was spelled. So,
Okay.
This band of outlaws was founded in Stockholm in 2004. It might come as no surprise that the major American label Metal Blades Records signed Valkyrja for their sophomore album, Contamination, in 2010. Valkyrja has since moved on and has completed 4 full-length albums to date. On their latest effort, Thrown Ablaze, in 2018, guitarist Simon Wisen took over on vocals. Valkyrja's lyrics on Thrown Ablaze are more existential than in the past. Whereas personal spirituality often plays an important role in the writing process for BM bands, the free-thinking Wisen is not religious. Therefore, he has stated that he does not feel the need to label himself in order to fit in with any group. Congratulations. I feel the same way. So,
Right.
Coming out of Death Metal Fest in Tennessee. See how that was right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Armageddon. It's kind of like Armageddon, but just an A at the end of the Geta. So Armagedda. So only true believers should be permitted to listen to this ridiculously awesome act. Armageddon was founded in 1999 as Volkermord, was rechristened the following year. Are you ready for some poetry from a poisoned mind? The sentiments expressed in much of Armageddon's material are all too relatable to us curmudgeons of the world. I don't like the modern humans. I don't care if some of them die. I'm not happy to see your ugly face as long as you're alive. Yeah, that's some of the lyrics. So yeah, the mostly Swedish lyrics that come after their second album are on another level. Although Armageddon disbanded in 2004, they eventually regrouped and blessed the world with, oh my God, I don't even know how to spell or pronounce this. It's Sveldenjup Artista. I don't know. It's in Swedish. So. in 2020, in some ways, this gem follows the natural course of progression represented by on spiritism. Oh my God. Like I said, I don't know why I do this to myself, but the first track after the instrumental intro even bears the title Old Spiritism. Nevertheless, if you have only heard Armageddon's early work, you would definitely be surprised. Even the vocals on the new album are reminiscent of those belonging to some avant-garde BM releases. Whereas some of Armageddon's previous materials struck the perfect balance between amusing and evil, this record is no laughing matter. It is not as raw as we have come to expect from Armageddon, whose style has evolved into something more mature but no less appealing. Just give it a chance. Armageddon's resurrection is quite remarkable considering the struggles of Grav, who currently make up half the makes up half of this outfit. In a long saga, he became involved in Sweden's largest drug distribution scheme. The brave existentialist made the decision to run away, however, before his trial. Grave has not only survived jail time, but he's also survived the white light revelation of Jesus Christ, or at least that's what he believes. Explore some of Grave's other bands like Elderlick and the defunct London, which was a collaboration with Armageddon's Andreas Peterson. You won't be sorry. Or maybe he just goes around going, I am Grave. uh, the next band on here is Onscapped. Let's see here. There we go.
And good morning to Myrna while we have a second.
Oh yeah. From Stockholm with Hate, this savage band, whose name means created of evil, has been spreading Satanism since 2000. The vast majority of Onscap's songs are in English, which helps them convey their message to a broader audience. Onscap very briefly featured Shining's Nicholas Carborth, who released their debut EP, Slave Under His Immortal Will, in 2001, and first album, Draco Sit Mahu Ducks, or Deuce, or whatever, Ducks, I guess, 2003, through his defunct label, Self-Smort Services. Life Lover's late co-founder, Johannes Bergvist, was also a member. Similarly, Life Lover's surviving co-founder Kim Carlson has participated in live performances with Onscap. Although you will not find the named geniuses on any of Onscap's records, that's quite all right, given the list of other talented musicians who have also been part of this outfit. For example, ex-Onscap's Redhe, Frederick Grabe, has recorded quite a bit with Shining. He appears on releases like the iconic 5 Halmstad 2007, and Joel Lindholm, one of Onscap's 2 current guitarists, is yet another former Shining member. He plays in Marduk and in Eternum, among other bands. Then the next one is Kraft, just like it's supposed to be pronounced, I guess, or spelled. So if you love elitist black metal bands then that think that keyboards defile this old genre, Kraft shares your philosophy. The bestial entity refuses to compromise. Kraft was formed in 1994 as Nocta, but they wish you would just forget about that. They never bore that name. That they ever bore that name. Sorry. They want you to forget that they ever bore that name. Sorry. After all, that was before the release of their first demo, Total Eclipse, in 1999. Kraft's members were inspired to make music after hearing Burzum. Dark Throne also set the band down the right path. Like Onscap, Kraft was formerly signed to the now closed Self-Smort Services after 5 blasphemous albums: Total Soul Rape 2000, Terra Propaganda 2002, Fuck the Universe in 2005, Void in 2011, and White Noise and Black Metal in 2018. We can't wait to see what these misanthropic thorns in the planet's side will prepare next. Hopefully these anti-cosmic musical terrorists will finally bring death to the planet Earth. Kraft uses the diabolical English language as their means of communicating feelings of undiscriminating hate, succumb to sin, and submit to Kraft. Or at least they have undiscriminating hate. So, and the next band is Sorhin, Sorhin. Formed in 1993, Sorhin has only completed 2 albums: Dek Glimrod de Morks Dupe, 1997, and Apocalypsen Angel in 2000. Both of these efforts were recorded at Peter Tägtgren's Abyss Studio, where Sorhin has worked on other releases as well. Sorhin's first EP and debut album were produced by Peter, who collaborated with the next 3 bands on the list. Apparently, vocalist Natsfirth tortured himself with a plier wrench when making Sorhin's first demo. Svarta Charlars Vandring. Although Sorian has not published new material since 2002, the group has never officially called it quits. As vocalist Nat first confirmed in an interview with Bardo Mythology a few years back, Sorian has more material that really ought to be brought into the light of Lucifer and the general public. Oh my God. Gotta love dark metal.
Mm-hmm.
or black metal, rather. Arcanum, I'll spell this one out because that one. Rest in peace, the anti-cosmic Arcanum. The highly influential project emerged in the earlies but caught it quits in 2018. Yet Arcanum's final EP, Forsta Truling, dropped in 2019. The band's mastermind, Shamate, stated that he planned to focus more on his spiritual life, which is intertwined with his ambitions as an already published author. After Arcanum's second demo in 93, the trio morphed into a one-man band. That is not to say, however, that he did not enlist the help of guests like Dissection's Set Titan. Shamate finished 9 albums under Arcanum, not under the Arcanum moniker. To make Arcanum's releases look brutal, Shamate has released collaborating with cover artist Chadwick St. John, who illustrated Dark Throne's Old Star in 2019. I will say this: they do have some pretty cool artwork when the black metal albums. Death metal bands do too. They have a great artwork. Like I said, it's just not my forte of music. But
Right. Yeah.
Shamate incorporated his love for Norse mythology and chaos Gnosticism into his work. He is a worshiper of Pan and a practitioner of black magic or black music. Sorry, you would be hard pressed to find another band with such quirky beliefs. It is also important to note that Shamate studied runes in order to improve his ability to perform in the bygone language of his forebears. Before founding Arcanum, Shamate was a member of Conquest and Grotesque. His bandmates Thomas Lindberg and Alf Svensson, also who joined after Shamate left, famously went on to form At the Gates, which we've talked about that band before.
Yes,
so
we have.
Shamate also started a band called Absorption and Disinterment with his brother Sartaros, who was initially involved with Arcanum and returned as a guest. Among Shamate's other musical accomplishments are his drums on Sorhan's second demo. You can chill out while subconsciously absorbing wisdom from the ambient project if you dare. So, next one is Ethereal. Let's see here. Make sure that was right. The Devilish Ethereal was formed in 1993 and soon caused a splash of fire and ice with their debut album Nord in 96, which was released by Napalm Records. The first demo, A Hail to the Faceless Angels, in 94, and their earliest EP in 95. Also, Take Your Breath Away and Leave You Blue in the Face. Think Beelzebub that Ethereal has cursed us with 6 wicked albums. Ethereal has not released anything since their mind-blowing 2-song EP Firestorms in 2013, which actually features leftover material from 2009. Nevertheless, we hope that this beastly outfit will raise its head above water again sometime soon. We can only pray that Ethereal is as still alive and as sick as ever. With veins wide open, we pray for more Gospels of Inhumanity. Triumph Fader is the next band here. And if anybody wants to listen on the radio, wants to go back and check any of these bands out and wants to get the spelling correct or anything, you can catch the replay on YouTube or Twitch or any of those to get the names out. So Triumph Fader was conceived in 1995 and unveiled their only album, Wings of Antichrist, 4 years later. The glorious record was produced by Peter Tägtgren, of course. Triumph Fader has not unleashed any new content since that time. Although many believe Triumph Fader to be dead, we wouldn't be so sure. Triumph Fader broke up after dead fucker Marcus Tina was arrested. Now that Tina is out of jail, a resurrection may be possible. Since his release, Marcus Tina has reopened his label Shadow Records. He previously ran a record store by the same name. 2019, Tina re-released 2 songs from Wings of Antichrist on a split called Black Metal Terror, and that showcases bands like Watain. Through Shadow Records, Tina has worked with some of the groups mentioned here today. Not only was Marduk one of the clients in the 90s, but Marduk's Morgan Evil Hakanson was among the guest lyricists on Wings of Antichrist. If Triumphator manages to make a comeback, we would like Ariok Mortis, Daniel Roston of Mordock, and Funeral Mist, another former client of Tina's, to continue to front the band and provide guitars. Next one was Diabolicum. Seems like there's like 100 of these bands when there's only 10, but when you're trying to read it, Diabolicum epitomizes misanthropy. Disciples of the lying horror, that was the deceiving love compared with the grandeur of hate. O vermin of the living God, what was the feeble life compared with the glory of death? Diabolicum's brilliant hate manifesto of a sophomore album, The Dark Blood Rising, the hate-crowned retaliation in 2001, contains so many other thought-provoking statements, it is madness to suppose that one owes anything to one's mother. should we be expected to show gratitude toward her just because she had some fun one night fucking? What she felt should be enough reward for her. This masterpiece ends with the following words: "There is no forgiveness unless blood is shed." Dissection's late mastermind, John Nodovit and Waytain's Eric Danielson both contributed killer lyrics to this effort. The Dark Blood Rising boasts several special guest musicians as well. This refreshing industrial metal band will help you break free of the feeling of monotony and often accompanies listening to too much modern metal. Diabolicum has been encouraging listeners to abandon all hope and compassion for over 2 decades, almost 3 if you count the time they spent working under the name Imperial. Interesting. I was wondering why, because there was actually a band that was on the list this week for Imperial, but when I looked it up, there was about 10 Imperials. So,
okay.
So evidently they were one of them. Unfortunately, Diabolicum remained dormant for years until the release of their third and latest album, Aya Pazuzu, The Abyss of the Shadows, in 2015. The generous Nicholas Varforth offered his services in the studio after learning that the band needed a vocalist. His talent is unsurpassed. Aya Pazuzu's 6-track The Abyss of the Shadows, however, features Carl Warslaughter, who has become the group's new frontman. Although Diabolicum's releases are always inventive, this experimental record still managed to catch us off guard. The title track, which is also the album's finale, is meant to give the impression of black waves enveloping land and all of creation. And guitarist Sasroff told Metalheads, Aya Pazuzu is not all unlike her divine hatred from Diabolicum's debut, The Grandeur of Hell, in 1999. The techno interlude that you will hear during the Lapuza's Genocide Bliss was created by Borum's Malfader Fabon. Adding electronic elements to black metal does not always result in particularly good music, except when done by the very best, like Beherit. The results are often polarizing, yet Diabolicum pulls this off beautifully. Diabolicum remains brutal and true. We could call Diabolicum's music war metal, but that's an overused term. Sit back and feel the sonic bullets piercing your skin. And then last but not least is Obsolete. But who knows? It could be a U in this. Did it go through? Oh, it didn't. There it goes. Obsolete is a 21st century black metal without any gimmicks. The band has translated their name as ending, but it also can mean contract, bargain, deal, or balancing in the sense of one's accounts. Formed in 2016, the Stockholm-based crew will eat away at your sanity like a syndrome. So far, Obsolete Absolut has unleashed a couple of Swedish language albums, the Deceptus in 2018 and Tyranny in 2019, and the same number of EPs. In 2019, Absolut reissued their second EP, For Slobod, 2018, as a split with Nordevils Krigsmot in 2017. Nordjevil may be from Norway, but they have only hit the studio with Swedish drummers. First ex Marduk's Frederick Widdix, and now ex Dark Funerals Dominator. Get ready for Alslot's Amazing Brothers to rock us yet again in autumn with their upcoming album, Navahol, Gnavhol. So, and that's actually coming out this year. Already came out. I don't know yet, but anyway, there's some new black metal bands if you're into that. So, like I said, I'm not really that much into it, but if you are, there you go.
There's a lot. We've said it before. There's a lot of music that comes out of Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden in particular, but Scandinavia as a whole. So I mean, there's a lot of bands from that part of the world.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to overlook that because I feel like that's kind of like what we set our podcast to do. So I don't want to. Like I said, even if I can't pronounce the shit, I'll still try to get it out there for you. So,
I mean, and you were nice enough to type out the names of some of these bands because you probably couldn't have paid me to those, but some of them were okay, like Cythereal and Triumphator, But
yeah,
I don't know. A couple of those.
They had the easy one like Kraft. I wasn't going to type that in there because it's
right. Yeah,
it's CRAFT, not like the macaroni and cheese, but
right. Yeah, right. But, and everybody knows it's Kraft. Everyone knows it's Kraft cheese and macaroni anyway. So
that's right. Yeah.
if you grew up in the '80s, then you know it's Kraft cheese and macaroni. So you remember those commercials. So yeah. All right, so
powder cheese is what it was.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cheese flavor.
You talk about old school. That's it right there. So, all right, I'm staying over at Blabbermouth. Once upon a time, the loudest, nastiest, speed-freaked trio in the land, the mighty Motorhead, decided that they needed an intro film to come on stage to, so they could tour their brand new album Iron Fist. Not for them some gentle promo video, for this was Motorhead in 1982 compromising the seminal Three Amigos lineup of Lemmy, Fast Eddie Clarke, and Phil Filthy Animal Taylor. What they produced has been buried in time, confined bootleg VHSs, but it's a glory brutal, hilarious OTT short movie directed by Nick Mead where knights are murdered and maidens are in distress. Shot in a Hertfordshire forest, it features a medieval battle-hardened band stomping around a darkened forest, fueled by vodka and brandishing weapons, wearing horned helmets and looking fierce while punching the air with their iron fists. Imagine a recklessly non-health and safety amphetamine nightmare, super low-budget take on Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and you're halfway there. Now, in honor of the 40th anniversary of the album that inspired this piece of cinematic pastiche, the Iron Fist trailer has been rediscovered, digitized, and officially released for the world's viewing pleasure. Originally cut to Gustav Holst's ominous Mars Bringer of War, it now features the previously unreleased instrumental demo Ripsaw Teardown as its audio soundbed. It's really quite something and sets up the forthcoming release of the Iron Fist 40th anniversary editions. While the album was rudely dismissed by critics on release, it now reveals itself as a vital snapshot of the band at a crucial period. It followed the consecutive triumphs of Ace of Spades and No Sleep Till Hammersmith, when the three-piece found themselves caught in the tornado of success, but in true Motorhead style, they careened into their next phase at such velocity it transcended logic or reason to become this trio's final kamikaze joyride. 40 years later, Iron Fist sounds like prime Motorhead with the gloves and seatbelts off. For sheer velocity, it could be fastest, most out of control of all their releases. To celebrate the anniversary, it is being presented in the new deluxe editions. There will be hardback book packs in 2 CD and triple LP formats featuring a Hammer Fist blow, remaster of the original album, previously unreleased demo bonus tracks, and a full concert originally broadcast on Radio Clyde from March 18th, 1982, plus the story of the album and many previously unseen photos. There's also a limited edition blue and black swirl of the original standalone album. So, plenty of cool stuff to look forward to for all you Motorhead fans for the 40th anniversary of that album. So check that shit out. And it looks like I don't know if the video, the remastered trailers on YouTube. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can check that out without buying anything ahead of the 40th anniversary release there. So, and it's Motorhead, it's going to be out there. So
right, yeah, exactly. So Myrna's checking out on us. She's got a lot going on today. So have a good one. So.
All right, have a good one, Myrna. Thanks for coming in. Always good to see you.
All right, these the next two kind of tie into our hitting the road segments. So I guess I'll kind of lead into that. I guess. So,
there we go.
So this one from over at Metal Sucks. You hate to see this kind of news break, but I'm afraid it's likely not going to stop anytime soon. Though we've seen high travel costs and logistical problems derail metal tours in recent weeks, Anthrax's cancellation of European dates earlier this week is likely to be the biggest ticket to succumb to such problems. The tour was supposed to start on September 27th in Birmingham, UK, and end in Milan, Italy on November 4th, but will instead come to a close on their final UK date on October 8th in London. According to a statement posted to the band's social media channels, the cancellation was largely out of their control. Anthrax just finished a U.S. tour of Black Label Society and Hatebreed, but were forced to cancel shows during that slate of dates due to a variety of health and safety issues. Sadly, this is likely not going to be the last time a tour gets kiboshed due to extenuating circumstances. Between climate change messing up travel plans to a major pandemic causing a huge shift in staffing within various industries, artists are going to have to consider those issues moving forward whenever they plan a tour. The Big Four band had been celebrating their 40th anniversary this year, and the tour was supposed to be an extension of that celebration. Despite the major cancellation, Anthrax will still play some shows in the UK with Municipal Waste and Sworn Enemy filling out the bill. Unfortunately, Italy's not going to get to see that, does it look like. So it's crazy that there's so much like travel issues with like finding people to we talked about where somebody they couldn't find anybody to drive a bus a while back. I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. But like I said, it's come to being like a normal thing here lately. Is that they're having to cancel for not even like the virus issues. It's more of having people to get them around and stuff, which just still blows my mind. It's like, wow, that's kind of something you would think you would have set up before you went, but evidently maybe something fell through. I don't know, but
I don't know it. But I mean, it is kind of surprising to hear that it's like you say, it's worked worked the way up to a band like Anthrax.
Right. I mean, it's not a money issue when it comes to bands like Anthrax. So it's definitely a body issue. So,
yep.
So
definitely not trying to downplay the issues
some
other bands have had. It's just trying to, like you say, it just goes to show that it's not just funds,
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not.
Exactly.
That's obviously not what's going on here. It's more of having a person there to do the job. So
right.
And like I said, that could be from sickness or whatever. We don't know, but
right.
I had a cancellation. I was going to get some estimates on some windows, and I had a cancellation on that because the guy had gotten sick or whatever, and they didn't have anybody else to sit out here. So it's kind of like, it is what it is. So maybe it was a way of God telling me I didn't need to buy windows, but
right.
You only know windows, man. I got you. You only know windows, but
you don't. You don't need those. Yeah.
Anyway. But it's still kind of at least at least they'll be at Blue Ridge before they go over to the UK. So
there you go.
Get to see them here. So
okay, I've got one more. I'm going to go over to Loudwire, and then I've got a list I've got another list that's not time,
Okay.
sensitive or anything. So we can go over that next week if we want, if need be. So I've got one more news story here. So heading on over to Loudwire. Eventually, there we go. All right. Was there ever a song you thought you were singing correctly for years and then finally looked up the lyrics and discovered that you got some of them wrong? A new study by Wordfinder by Your Dictionary has rounded up the top songs with lyrics people most often mishear, and a few rock and metal cuts made the list. Wordfinder by Your Dictionary surveyed over 1,000 Americans for the study to see which songs and genres have lyrics that people most often get wrong. Subjects were presented with clips of various songs and given 4 sets of lyrics to choose from based on what they heard. Mishearing song lyrics often leads to a phenomenon called mondegreen. A mondegreen is quote a word or phrase that results from a mishearing, especially of something recited or sung, end quote, as defined by a writer named Sylvia Wright in 1954. Among the genres included in the results are rock, heavy metal, folk, pop, hip hop, rap, EDM, and R&B. The number one song that Americans mishear, with a whopping 70% getting the words wrong, which is the only reason why I even included this in this week's news, is Metallica's Enter Sandman, according to the findings, and it was misheard the most commonly by members of Generation X, Millennials, and Generation Z. Other rock and metal songs that made the top 40 include Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, The Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand, Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, Elvis Presley's Suspicious Minds, Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, The Police's Message in a Bottle, and the Rolling Stones' Beast of Burden. Metal and R&B, however, were the genres least likely to be misheard. The Rolling Stone Jagger was named the hardest to understand artist in addition to rapper Young Thug. So what mondegreens did people come up with for some of these tunes? God. In Enter Sandman, the chorus says, exit light, enter night. Participants in the study thought the words were eggs and light, end all night.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah. The chorus in Smells Like Teen Spirit is, with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. The findings show that many people thought the words were, with the lights out, it's Las Vegas. Hear me all now, entertainers.
Oh, my God.
Funny enough,
that's why it's good to get those lyric sheets in there with the sleeves, man.
Yeah. That's another reason why you go out and buy hard copies of music.
Right. Do you remember? Do you remember? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but while you're talking about, do you remember Circus Magazine used to do that? It used to have like the like a song or something in the middle, and it would go through the whole lyrics. It was actually, I'm gonna dig up an old magazine and break it out.
I was about to say I don't remember that, but I'm sure you've got one. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, a lot of people reported they actually prefer the lyrics they thought were correct to the real ones, with 75% of heavy metal fans liking their own words better than 55% of rock ones sharing the same sentiment. That 20% difference, though, shows that more rock fans would rather know the actual words than metal fans. So that kind of, I mean, I'm kind of like at a loss for words on some of those, but.
Well, I mean, I got like my son likes Slaughter to Prevail, and I asked him. I said, "Do you know?" We was listening to something the other day. I said, "You know what he's saying? You know what the lyrics are?" He said, "No, I just like the music." I'm just like, I was like, "Okay, whatever." So
well, the funny thing for me is like I am super duper surprised that Enter Sandman was the song that was most heard out of all
right.
of them.
That's what I was.
I mean, I can kind of understand mishearing some songs, but because I remember as a kid listening to Manfred Mann's song "Blinded by the Light." You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was. I couldn't even. I don't even know how old I was.
Wrapped up like a douche.
it's still wrapped up like a douche as far as I'm concerned. If anyone knows that song, then they probably know what I'm talking about. It wasn't until I may have been almost years old before I finally realized it's supposed to be revved up like a deuce, talking about an old deuce, like an old deuce coupe from way back in the day. I thought it was wrapped up like a douche forever, and I still sing it that way because it's fucking funny that way. But eggs and light.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That would have everything to do with sleep, right?
Right. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I
to
don't,
me,
I don't know.
you would have to like think about, okay, Enter Sandman, it has to be something about sleep. So
Hmm.
what the hell would eggs have to do with that? So I mean, at some point you
Yeah.
have
I
to
don't know.
put it all together and be like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So
Yeah. You would think in the context of at least the first verse, you could be like, he's not saying eggs. I know he's not saying eggs, but
right,
so of course I should have figured out that Manfred Mann wasn't saying douche, but but at the same time, anyone who's ever heard that song, tell me he doesn't say it tell me he doesn't say douche. Tell me he's
yeah,
not saying
right,
douche.
right. I mean, I think
But
everybody would agree with you on that one. I mean, I think there's a. I mean, I was the same way. I thought that was like the lyrics forever too. Until like
yeah,
I was, it was probably 10 years ago before I ever knew the real
right.
lyrics to it. So I went 30 years of my life hearing that song and
Hmm.
not knowing.
Right.
So, but I
Well,
do the
like I
same thing. I'm just
well, like I say, now just on purpose, I sing it that way.
yeah. Me and my wife have an ongoing joke about a Machine Head song like that. So,
Which one?
um, beyond the veil or pale or
Oh,
whatever.
Beyond the Pale. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, you'll have to let me in on the joke. What's the
yeah,
joke?
yeah, yeah. I'll
I mean, you don't have to sing it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot and have
no,
you do
I was trying to
karaoke.
remember. I'm trying to remember the actual. I'm trying to remember the actual lyrics. I got to look up the lyrics now. To uh,
Like, what part of the song is it? Is it the chorus where he
uh
sings about where he finds salvation in masturbation?
yeah, yeah. But I don't even know if he says that though. That's the thing. So that's what I say. And
That's what I
then
always say.
she says uh, mastication or something. I can't remember. It's, it's funny. We always make fun of that. We know what it says.
Yeah.
But, we all know it's emancipation, but it's still funny. Yeah, it's emancipation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was for sure, but I was like,
Hmm.
I say masturbation, and she
Yeah.
says
So yeah. So do I.
She says mastication. Of course, she's
Yeah.
the nurse. She's a nurse, so she has to make it.
Talks about chewing. Yeah.
She has to make it scientific, I guess.
Oh yeah. I just gotta. Yeah.
Uh, anyway,
Well, I mean, of course, the funny thing is you could almost, and the thing is about that, you could almost understand is if Rob Flynn would have said, "I found salvation in masturbation." Anyway, because
oh yeah,
there's another song on that album where he's talking about I got a razor blade smile and a cocaine tongue. I got a boner for slinging loads for fun. So you could see how
yeah,
you could see Rob Flynn talking about he could find
yeah,
salvation in masturbation.
and plus the whole Triple Beam song's lyrics are like really
Right,
wacky,
exactly.
really
Yeah.
wacky. So,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely could see
Right.
it being a masturbation before
Yeah, you could see
or
that.
before mastication, definitely.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. In
yeah.
context of the artist, you could see how that could possibly be the actual lyric.
uh, He'll drink a peanut butter beer to that. So, uh, last one is over that I got. It's over from Blabbermouth. Fozzy has postponed the first 2 weeks of its previously announced summer fall tour to Save the World tour due to a throat injury suffered by the band's lead singer Chris Jericho. Hopefully, he didn't suffer that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Macho Man throat injury.
Oh, good God. Yeah.
In a match. According to a statement released by Fozzy earlier today, Jericho sustained a bruised larynx last month at the AEW Quake by the Lake event in Minnesota, where he squared off against Jon Moxley for the interim AEW World Championship. Fozzy's full statement reads as follows: On August 10th, during the Quake by the Lake AEW event in Minneapolis, Chris suffered a throat injury that left him with a severely bruised larynx. Unfortunately, even though the injury is healing and is not permanent, Chris hasn't fully recovered, and his laryngologist has recommended that Fozzy postpone the first 2 weeks of the tour. scheduled to start in Columbus on the September 8th in order to facilitate a full recovery as soon as possible. The postponed shows have been moved to the spring of 2023. The rescheduled dates can be found at www.fozzierock.com. All tickets will remain valid. The next leg of Save the World Tour will start September 29th in Charlotte. Fozzy appreciates each and every one of you, and we can't wait to rock with you again at full strength very soon. So that's the thing I always was kind of worried about with Jericho, is because he's doing both. It's like, you know, if he gets hurt wrestling, how's that going to affect his touring and music? And I think at some point he's going to have to like pick a side. I mean, unfortunately.
Right. Well, obviously, I think he's obviously going to be able to do music longer than he's going to do.
Right. So
he's been in wrestling for 30 plus years already. So,
yeah. So, well, actually 40. So almost, you know, coming up on 40 quick. So, so I think he's been doing it since he was about 14 or 15. So he's been doing it for a pretty good while. I mean, he was in Japan, you know, before I knew the capital of it. So,
right.
But anyway, so that's all the headlines you had too, or all the stories you had. So I got a couple of headlines. You talked about the Slipknot. I had that as a headline, but that's fine.
Okay. All right.
You did the whole story though. So I mean,
yeah.
So, but other headlines were Fred Durst is going to host a immersive Halloween party on a boat in Philly, which in October that may be a frozen lake boat cruise. You know,
it'd be cold for sure.
And then Ozzy Osbourne is going to move back to the UK, saying everything is fucking ridiculous in the US. Which then Ted Nugent, of course, had to say something negative about that. Of course, Ted Nugent says something negative about everybody, but
pretty much, yeah.
Let me say something negative. You were your music was better in the 70s. How about
that? That's just true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's just true.
The Terminator 2 star Robert Patrick revealed that he wanted Nine Inch Nails on the film soundtrack instead of Guns N' Roses. I don't know if that would.
I'm not the biggest Guns N' Roses fan, but "You Could Be Mine" was a good song.
Yeah, my thing with that is that you're talking about a soundtrack. Why couldn't you just have them both on it? I mean,
true.
So, we've seen some pretty massive soundtracks in the past. So, then of course the 2022 Furnace Festival reveals their daily lineups and set times over on their website, and of course Blue Ridge actually released their set times this week as well, which is going on next week. So I'm still waiting on the updated map because the maps don't show what stage is where yet on the current page.
Oh geez, okay.
So it just says stage. Well, I know there's a stage there, but which one is it? I'm trying to map out my shit here, man. Like
shit. Yeah.
Anyway, that was really the only notable headlines to talk about. So
yeah. Well, speaking of Furnace Fest, they're kind of they could potentially be in trouble with Dino Cazares because apparently their logo resembles some old Fear Factory logos. And then you mentioned Ozzy moving back to the UK, which is weird because he's also going to be doing the halftime show at one of the football games opening weekend. So I mean he's going back to the UK to live. Yet he's going to be over here playing concerts and doing halftime shows at football games and everything else. I mean, whatever. I mean, if that's where you want your actual official address to be, obviously that's up to you. But I mean, if you're going to be over here doing football games, and stuff like that, the odds of you being caught in part of the quote unquote bullshit over here, which don't get me wrong, Ozzy's not 100% wrong in his reasoning for going back to the UK. He's not 100%
wrong. But where was he living though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
he was in Cali, so I mean,
yeah, of course.
So it's a lot more fucked up there than it is anywhere else here. So
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, like I say, he's not 100% wrong or anything. But I mean, if you're like, oh, I'm going home because it's ridiculous in the United States. Hey, Ozzy, you want to play a football game halftime show? Oh, all right. So it's just kind of weird, but
So the thing is with California, it's like it's gotten so stupid that they I seen where they were actually talking about fining people for trying to move. It's like, what the fuck are you serious? Like, uh, so fucking stupid.
That totally sounds California. Sure.
It's just
I mean, you're gonna find people for trying to move, but then you're also gonna allow people to shoplift. Okay, that's fine.
yeah, it's shit in the streets. So,
Yeah, yeah.
which had me laughing because I don't know if you've seen. They had a picture on one of the pages. I think it may have been Blabbermouth or one of the others, but it had Avril Lavigne got her star on a Walk of Fame or whatever, and she was laid
Hmm.
out in front of it and stuff. I said, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, somebody's shit right there, right?
Yeah, that's so gross.
You're laying on it.
Yeah, it's so gross.
They clean it up a couple times a year just for award shows, but like I was there like on an off peak like time like in May or something, and like when I went through there were just like bums laying everywhere. And I mean that whole section of town was trashy. And I'm just
Hmm.
like, dude, like it seemed like you would take care of this since there's like people's stars all the way down it, but no,
Yeah,
they don't give a shit. Man, it's just there to
no,
make them look good. So
yeah. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think like when they have events down there, I mean, ahead of time they have to like literally move
yeah,
everybody, and like you
yeah.
say, they actually have to clean the streets and clean the sidewalks.
Mm.
They gotta make it look nice for events. And so I mean,
But
they literally have to literally have to like relocate homeless and shit like that
But
for
so this is my
events.
thing. This is my thing with them though. So why would you not have it like that all the time? Since you're so into all this green bullshit, it's
Hmm.
like why would you tolerate trash and dirtiness if you're in all this green stuff? That's my thing. It's it's like one of the most hypocritical things
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
I've states that I know of. So
yeah.
they'll do one thing and then they,
Oh
oh
yeah.
well, you need to do everything battery and this and this and this, and so well you do know that the smog in there is from all the factories and stuff that you have. It's not from the cars.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can run over to some hitting the roads real quick. I got a
Yeah.
few here, so
All right.
so my first one's look out, Houston. You've got a lot of heavy fucking metal coming your way next year. Death
Oh,
metal.
it's just too bad.
I know, right? Death metal masters Possessed, along with the just reformed Razor, British metal mainstays Demon, and power metal act Liege Lord have been announced as the marquee acts for Hell's Heroes Festival in 2023. We are extremely excited to announce the epic lineup for Hell's Heroes in 2023, said festival organizer Christian Larson. This is a really cool and diverse mix of the best metal bands from around the world. Special thanks to all the bands, crews, and especially fans and who allow gatherings like this to happen. See you at the show. Lineup also includes Pagan Altars, Satan, Visigoth, Ross the Boss, Night Demon, Hollis, Brockus, Helm, Skullfist. Hey, look at there.
Oh
Haunt,
shit, Skullfist.
yeah, Enforcer.
Maybe that's why they haven't emailed me back.
Christian Mistress, Riot City, Davana, Goat Horn, Freeways, Spell Tower, Morgul Blade, Natur, Century, Gatekeeper, Midnight Dice, and that was it. Hell's Heroes will take place on March 24th and 25th at White Oak Music Hall in Houston. You can get your tickets today. They're on sale at the website. They also have a really good VIP package if you want to thrash in style over 2 days. So there you go.
Nice.
Then I got tour dates for Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral Ingested. They announced a 2023 European tour. March 10th in Netherlands, Hengelo Metropool, and 423. I don't know what GB is. What's GB?
Great Britain.
Great Britain. There you go. All right. That makes sense since it's Nottingham Rock City, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so there's that. And then, of course, Ramstein also announced their 2023 European Stadium Tour that kicks off May 22nd in Lithuania, Vilnius, Fingio Parkas, and then ends on August the 4th in Belgium, Brussels, at the King Baudouin Stadium. So European always gets the good shit.
Well, especially with Rammstein. I mean, they're over here in the United States right now, but it's so few dates.
Yeah. I think it was like 18, 16. It wasn't many.
I don't even think it was that many, to be honest with you.
Was
I
it
really
not?
don't.
I knew
I
it
don't
was
think it
like
was. I mean,
I knew it was like a paragraph, and that was it. I was like, damn, that's
yeah,
it.
it wasn't many.
Then, of course, Metallica have announced their third annual All Within My Hands benefit concert taking place on December 16th in Los Angeles. All Within My Hands is the nonprofit organization founded by Metallica in 2017, dedicated to creating sustainable communities by supporting workforce education, the fight against hunger, and other critical local services. So to check that out. I'm sure there's going to be a feed and donate thing for all that too. I'm sure, so we'll keep you
Probably.
posted. December's
Yeah.
a little ways away, so
Right.
And then the last one I had was also a European tour for Between the Buried and Me, Haken, and Cryptodira. Um, they announced a 2023 UK and European tour. That kicks off February 21st in Hamburg, Germany at the Gruenspan. Then ends on March 26th in London at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. So that was all that I really had for the hitting the roads.
Okay. All right. Well, for my contribution, we for the 27th through the 2nd, we start off at the PRP like usual. We have Cane Hill. They have booked some headlining shows around their tour to support the Plot in You and Silent Planet. Those dates are November 1st in Wichita, Kansas at Temple Live, December 4th in Des Moines at Lefties, December 5th in Lawrence, Kansas at the Bottleneck, and December 6th in Memphis, Tennessee at Growlers. So catch some of those headlining shows ahead of that. Then we have, let's see, we got Leprous is canceling their 320th anniversary shows in the United States. Let's see. And let's see what was the reasoning for that, because I'm looking at this literally just popped up a little bit ago. A private issue is a private health issue in the close family of bassist and vocalist Simon Borvin has forced the Norwegian progressive metal group to undertake their impending US tour with Apocalyptica and Wheel without him. So they're canceling 3 of their shows in the United States. They had a trio of 20th anniversary tours, and those dates are September 20th, October 7th, and October 8th. And then their bassist and vocalist also will not be able to travel with the Apocalyptica US tour due to a health issue. So we have that going on. So there's that. And then we have Youth of Today are setting off on a very, very short 4-date run in November, starting November 16th in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the Middle East, featuring Art Thieves and ICU. November 17th in Brooklyn, New York at the Brooklyn Monarch, featuring Glue, Combust, and Gel. November 18th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the First Unitarian Church, featuring Outburst, End It, Raw Brigade, and Cutdown. And November 19th in Baltimore, Maryland at Autobar, featuring Lion of Judah, Truth Cult, and Grand Scheme. So 4 different dates, 4 different cities with 4 completely different lineups there. So
wow, that's crazy.
That's kind of interesting. Then we have Exhumed, Holder, and Vitriol going out on tour. The tour dates with Molder as the opening act will be starting on November 10th in Portland, Oregon at Dante's, finishing November 22nd in Cleveland, Ohio at No Class. Then the dates with Castrator opening will begin November 23rd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Cativo, finishing December 17th in Oakland, California at Eli's Mile High. No Nashville date with either lineup. Plague Years has dropped off of the tour with Creeping Death, 200 Stab Wounds, Spirit World, and Tribal Gaze due to their drummer leaving the band. So they kind of have a hole. They have a hole in their lineup that I guess they can't fill in time. Then here's an interesting band name that I've never heard of before: Orancy Pazuzu. Yeah. And Telepathy are going on a European mini tour starting October 2nd in Brussels, Belgium at La Botanique, finishing October 9th in Madrid, Spain at Salaman for the occult sessions. Then Suicidal Tendencies has announced a 3-day residency at the Garden Amphitheater in Garden Grove, California, running from October 29th through the October 31st with a different set each night. So, check that out if you're out there in California. The Amity Affliction.
I was
What's
gonna
that
say,
now?
are they? It's just 3 days. Are they institutionalized or something? Or?
Yeah, they're going to be institutionalized at the Garden Amphitheater. That's right. The Amity Affliction has postponed their European and UK tour until 2023 to take a mental health break, which is important, as obviously we
Right.
know from the beginning of the show. And due to that, the counterparts will no longer be taking part in the tour, and Fit for a King will be replacing them. CU Space Cowboy and Gideon will still be the opening acts. The new itinerary is as follows. It starts January 11th, 2023 in Paris, France at Le Cabaret Sauvage, finishing February 4th, 2023 in München, Germany at Backstage Work. Speaking of counterparts and Justice for the Damned are going on a European and UK tour. Throne will be the opener starting October 7th in Haarlem, Netherlands at Patronaat, finishing October 24th in Ghent, Belgium at De China Strat. Then Cauldron will be the opener starting October 25th in London, UK at Underworld, finishing October 30th in Sheffield, UK at Yellow Arch. Crossfaith has canceled all their 2022 touring plans for reasons that are unknown at this time. Dance Gavin Dance postpones their European and UK tour and cancels their Louder Than Life appearance due to John Mess needing to rest his voice for a month per doctor's orders. Drain, Life's Question, and an opener to be announced are going on tour. Just a quick, 5 or 6 date run starting October 14th in Brooklyn, New York at the Brooklyn Monarch, finishing October 19th in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania at Carl Hall. No Nashville date there. Scowl is going out on tour with Restraining Order and Ankle Biter as the support acts starting October 24th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at Stage on Her, finishing October 29th in Gainesville, Florida at Vivid Music Hall. Then they will be with Jive Bomb and Ankle Biter as the openers on October 30th, 2022 in Pensacola, Florida at the Handlebar, and they will be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi at the Hattiesburg Community Arts Center on October 31st. Then they will be with Gulavelli, Jive Bomb, Ankle Biter, and Strange Joy starting November 2nd in Houston, Texas at the End, finishing November 5th in Dallas, Texas at Cheap Stakes. No Nashville date with any lineup on that tour.
They're called ankle biters because the Chihuahuas were taken.
That's right. Then the only one I have over at blabbermouth.net, Last in Line, is going out on tour starting September 23rd in Laconia, New Hampshire at the Big House, finishing November 23rd in Huntington, New York at the Paramount. No Nashville date on that tour either. So that is that's hitting the road for the 27th through the 2nd.
Yeah, it's crazy how much we're still talking about tours still announcing. It's kind of crazy. You figure it'd be kind of winding down a little bit.
I'm surprised that we don't have. I'm not necessarily surprised that tours are still being announced. I'm surprised at the tours that are still being announced that haven't bled over into 2023.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah. It's kind of surprised that we're still having. We're just about to start fall, and there's still 2022 tours. Yeah, so that is kind of surprising.
There was one story that I forgot to mention was I don't know if you've seen this, but Shinedown's Brent Smith, he received the key to his childhood home of Knox County from of course Mayor Glenn Jacobs, which we all know is WWE wrestler Kane.
Yeah. I didn't see that. That's cool as shit.
So that's pretty cool. So yeah, Brent was pretty emotional too. It shows him here. He's the video was pretty emotional.
Well, yeah.
So that's pretty cool though, man. Not a lot of people would get the key to their city from their childhood, Yeah.
So. And then to have a former WWE wrestler,
right? Yeah, so pretty cool. Like handing over his belt or something,
Yeah.
All right,
I'd be like the guys on Ready to Rumble when fucking Sting knocks him out. Like, ooh, do me.
Yeah. I'll take a little key. Just give me a little key.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into some history here before we get too bent on time here. So,
yeah.
So not much going on for this week as far as notable stuff, but
not a ton.
I got August the 29th, 2021. American drummer Ron Bushy died following a battle with cancer at the age of 79. He was a member of the rock band Iron Butterfly. His as the drum soloist on the band's iconic song "Inagata La Vida," released in 1968. He was the only member of the group to appear on all 6 of its studio albums, which that's kind of wild. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people don't know who Iron Butterfly is. If you listen to that song in '68, you would have been like, "Oh man, this is some devil music."
They thought it was back then.
Yeah, back then, yeah, because I mean it was the hardest thing they ever heard. So, August the 29th in 2000, Slipknot caused chaos at that year's Kerrang Awards after smashing glasses, setting fire to tables, throwing a monitor off the stage, and destroying a microphone. The band picked up 3 rewards, including Best Single and Best Live Act, though, and Best Demolition of a Stage. So
there you go.
I'm just kidding. They didn't win.
Someone's got to win that award.
August the 29th, 1987, Def Leppard scored their first UK number 1 with Hysteria, which also became a number 1 on the US chart in July of the following year, and spent 49 weeks working its way to the top. So it was on there for a long time. I remember I got so tired of hearing Pour Some Sugar on Me like back then. I was like they used to do like a top 10 in the afternoon on MTV, and like that shit was number 1 forever. And it's like, dude, really? Like,
yeah,
we was trying to figure out ways to call in all the time just to get them out of the number 1 spot. It's like, Jesus Christ, there's so much other good music out there. Why are y'all like drilling this into our heads? But And let's see, August 29th, 1987, Rick Astley's debut hit "Never Gonna Get." Motherfucker done it to me again. Son of a bitch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, got me. August 31st, 1991, Metallica started a 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with Metallica. The album featured Enter Sandman, Sever True, Don't Forgiven, and Nothing Else Matters. And it went on to sell over 10 million copies in the U.S. alone. And
what's that?
And I'm waiting.
Wait, talking about it being the highest selling album of all time in the Nielsen SoundScan era across all genres?
Yeah, there you go.
That
I was like, man, I gotta leave that open for him. So
yeah, we held for effect there.
Yeah. There we go. Rick Astley fucked us up. So.
I know it'll do that.
Rick rolling our ass still.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody will play that at his funeral and do like, oh, I'm just kidding.
Have a closed casket and he pops out of somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not in there, fuckers.
You just got Rick rolled. September 3rd, 2008, heavy metal band Slipknot scored their first U.S. number 1 album, but only after a recount put them ahead of rapper The Game's latest release. Slipknot topped the U.S. chart with their 4th studio album, All Hope Is Gone, which, according to analysts from Nielsen SoundScan, sold 239,516 copies, 1,134 more than The Game's album. So, they can recount that. They should recount some other shit. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. We'll save that for Thursday's show since Politishock is coming back.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is scheduled for September 8th at 7:00. Well, 7:00 Eastern. It would be 6. It'd be 6:00 down here where we are. But yep. So it's out there. All right.
That was all that I had. So
okay. Well, this week in metal history, as far as my contribution, as always, is brought to you by This Day in Metal and Dr. Feelgood and Ms. Hyde on Twitter and Facebook, respectively. For the 28th through the 3rd, leading off with some holdovers after last week's show, we have August 27th, 1985. Black and Blue releases their 2nd studio album, Without Love. August 27th, 2013, Devil Driver releases their 6th studio album, Winter Kills, which debuted at number 32 on the Billboard 200. And August 27th, 2002, Stone Sour releases their self-titled debut studio album. Moving ahead to the 28th, October. There I go. Started 3rd week in a row. I've started with October. August 28th, 2006, Heaven Shall Burn releases their 4th studio album, Deaf to Our Prayers. August 28th, 2020, Pain of Salvation releases their 11th studio album, Panther. August 28th, 2007, Epica releases their 3rd studio album, The Divine Conspiracy. And August 28th, 1990, Living Colour releases their 2nd studio album, Time's Up, which peaked at number 13 on the Billboard 200. Moving ahead, August 29th, 1989, Fate's Warning releases their 5th studio album, Perfect Symmetry. Moving ahead, August 30th, 2019, Elven King releases their 10th studio album, Reader of the Runes, Divination. Visions of Atlantis releases their 7th studio album, Wanderers, and Tarja releases her 8th solo studio album, In the Raw. I almost did October again. August 30th, 2013, Tarja releases her 4th solo studio album, Colors in the Dark, and 9 Inch Nails released their 8th studio album, Hesitation Marks, which debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200. August 30th, 2004, Dio releases their 10th and final studio album, Master of the Moon. And August 30th, 2005, Biohazard releases their 8th studio album, Means to an End. Moving ahead, August 31st, 2018, Beyond the Black releases their 3rd studio album, Heart of the Hurricane. August 31st, 1993, Blue Murder releases their 2nd studio album, Nothing But Trouble. August 31st, 2004, Papa Roach releases their 4th studio album, Getting Away with Murder, which peaked at number 17 on the Billboard 200. And August 31st, 2010, Disturbed releases their 5th studio album, Asylum, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. And moving into September 1st, 1990, Tankard releases their 4th studio album, The Meaning of Life. September 1st, 2000, Doro releases her 7th studio album, Calling the Wild, which peaked at number 19 on the German charts. And September 1st, 1996, Thunder releases their 4th studio album, The Thrill of It All. Moving ahead, September 2nd, 2002, In Flames releases their 6th studio album, Reroute to Remain. September 2nd, 2016, the Choir Boys released their 9th studio album, Twisted Love. And September 2nd, 2008, Hollywood Undead releases their debut studio album, Swan Songs, which peaked at number 22 on the Billboard 200. And as of right now, I have nothing for September 3rd. So, as always, if anything comes across for the 3rd that we didn't talk about in 2021, those will be the lead off for next week's segment. But for right now, that is This Week in Metal History for the 28th through the 2nd.
You was talking about that Devil Driver album being 32. I was going to say 32 on the charts, number 1 in our hearts. So.
That's right. A good album.
All right. As we would kick in over to our top 10 of the week, our top 10 metal song topic this week. Since we did fantasy last week, Chris wanted to do reality this week.
Yep.
Which was, like this one was like, I don't know. It was like a little bit troubling for me. Honestly, it was
tricky.
Yeah,
it was tricky.
It's more of I went with more of content inside the song more than I did anything with kind of what's going on with the world, because unfortunately that is reality. So
right, yeah.
But then again too, I got a couple songs, with reality in the title. So
right, yeah.
So I kind of went both ways. And I wound up with I think 12 or 13.
Yeah,
so,
I ended up with 12 myself. So
yeah, so I stopped at that point because I got tired of reading song lyrics to try to see if it was
right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So I mean, we could probably do a whole list of Machine Head songs, but in this case, but
yeah,
which isn't a bad thing, but
well, no, not at all.
So my contributions to the top 10 reality, of course, I started out with Lamb of God, Reality Bath from Lamb of God 2020. And I went with Havoc, Fear Campaign from the 5 album 2020. If you haven't heard that, that's definitely about everything that was going on at the time, for sure. So then I took Machine Head, Stop the Bleeding from Civil Unrest 2020. And I went with Non-Point, Pins and Needles from The Return 2014, because I feel like that's we all kind of walk on pins and needles at this point, trying not to offend somebody. So, which is stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then I went with, something more recent. I went with Megadeth, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, because, that's, kind of what you deal with on a daily basis, really. So,
And it's such a good song.
It is, yeah.
God, it's such a good song. We're gonna get to that album in a minute, but goddamn, it is such a good song.
Yeah. Then I took Warbringer, Remain Violent from Woe to the Vanquished in 2017. That's more of another police brutality type song, but then next one I took was Bullet for My Valentine, No Happy Ever After from Bullet for My Valentine in 2021. Then this one kind of went back a little bit. I went back to 2007 for this one. Took Throwdown Holy Roller. The only reason I took this one was because it reminded me of the actual shit that's going on right now with the Metal Death Fest down
Oh
down in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
said Holy Roller. Oh, I gotta throw that on there. But
It's
that's
a
from
good
the
one.
Vitamin Tears album from 2007. Then I went with songs again. So I went with Pantera Clash with Reality from Cowboys from Hell 1990. Then I went with kind of something that was then I kind of went with some stuff that was like based on real stuff that happened. So I took Accept Kool-Aid from the Rise of Chaos in 2017. Of course, that's with the whole what was his name? I can't remember his name now. Jim something.
Oh, Jim Jones
Yeah, Jim Jones. So it's with the
at
Jim Jones
Jonestown.
days.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
Jonestown.
So that was all based on that. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then I took Barry Tomorrow Imposter from Cannibal 2020 because I think there's a lot of those out there. Some of them in government roles. We won't go there.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, I took Five Finger Death Punch, My Nemesis from Got Your Six, because I think a lot of people deal with those issues on a daily basis as well. So
Yeah.
that was my contributions to reality, I guess. So.
All right. All right. Well, then I will go ahead and we'll start mine. First, I went with 44 Minutes by Megadeth off of Endgame from 2009 in reference to that Los Angeles bank robbery and shootout from, I can't remember what year it was. But I think we all kind of, well, most of us anyway would remember seeing that shit on the news. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Then I went with Uprising by Sabaton off of Coat of Arms from 2010. Which is in reference to the German invasion of Poland, Warsaw, Poland, to be specific, back in World War II. Basically, more or less the start of World War II.
Right.
Then we have The Evil Is Landed by Testament off the Formation of Damnation off the 2008 in reference to the events of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went with Stop the Bleeding by Machine Head off of Civil Unrest from 2020 in reference to, police brutality. Then I went with Nanking by Exodus off Exhibit B, The Human Condition from 2010, talking about the Nanking Massacre in China, way, way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went with Angel of Death by Slayer off of Rain and Blood from 1986 in reference to Dr. Joseph Mengele, who was a Nazi physician at Auschwitz. Then I went with Hold at All Costs from Iced Earth off of The Glorious Burden from 2004 in reference to the second day of the Battle of Gettysburg. Then I went with The God That Failed by Metallica off of the Black Album Metallica from 1991 in reference to the death of James Hetfield's mother. Then I went with Creek Mary's Blood from Nightwish off of Once from 2004 in reference to the Trail of Tears, which if you guys don't know what that is, fucking Google it.
Mm-hmm.
You should have paid more attention in school.
Well, hell, they don't even teach it that much anymore. Is what's so sad.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
And then I also went with Clash with Reality from Pantera off Cowboys from Hell 1990 for obvious reasons. Then my two honorable mentions, quote unquote, I went with Indians by Anthrax off from Among the Living from 1987, which was in reference to the treatment of Native Americans by the European settlers as they, got here
Right.
and then migrated west across the country. Then I went with Wind of Change by the Scorpions off of Crazy World from 1990, which I know is a ballad, but it was in reference to the fall of the Berlin Wall, which, needless to say, is a pretty goddamn important event in world history. So I threw that one on there too. Plus, I like the song. Fight me, I don't care. So there it is. That's my top 10 for the week. So we'll get that list. We'll get that list compiled and collaborated and try to get it posted as quickly as we can for you guys.
Yeah, we may add some stuff to it too, since we had a couple of overlaps, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we can always put a different Machine Head song on there. So Bulletproof was also on that. Mm-hmm. We can just throw both of them on there, I guess. But
yep.
All right,
couldn't go wrong for sure. Yeah.
No. Like I said, Machine Head has been pretty outspoken about a lot of stuff that goes on in the world. Yep. So, along with like Warbringer and bands like like that too. So
Yeah.
all right, so we go into our album reviews. I only got through the one that I'm reviewing, and because I actually was listening to a couple other things, but I didn't want to review them because I don't think that I listened to them enough to have a good opinion on them.
That's fair.
So I don't want to down something when I haven't gave it a proper like I said, when I usually down something I usually listen for reasons
Mm-hmm.
why I don't like it. So but there was some stuff that I wanted to listen to again that I didn't get to. So of course I was listening to Megadeth about 3 times. So
Mm-hmm.
so I mean we
Yeah.
could talk about that one now if you want to. I mean
Well, I mean, we
should
can.
go ahead and kick it off
Yeah,
with
we can. Because I mean,
with the
I listened to that one after I listened to my review album,
yeah.
but I mean,
Well, I
it,
ain't gonna lie. I stayed up till well, it actually dropped on Spotify at 11, so I stayed up till 11 that night and listened to it in a whole. I made
so
sure I
you
stayed up just to do that. So
yeah, so you actually got to listen to it on Thursday night then.
yeah, I listened to it Thursday night. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then again Friday twice. So
Yeah,
so
man.
uh, I posted something about that, and I said, did you guys just make Kiko hold back all these years? I mean, it's like what the
It's
fuck?
it's actually it's actually funny that you say that because that was kind of my thought was that they finally just kind of like is like Dave finally like just unleashed Kiko
Yeah,
Loureiro on the world. I
yeah,
mean,
right.
obviously
Jesus,
he's a great guitar player, but
yeah,
I don't know, but it's almost like where the fuck has this been?
yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
was, it was, it was.
Not to say Dystopia wasn't a good
Right.
album or anything because it was, but I mean,
I think it was a breath of fresh air for any old school Megadeth fan. I think
absolutely.
if you were there during the Peace Cells and Rest in Peace and all those days that I think that's probably you probably rekindled your love for Megadeth if you listen to
Yeah.
this album. So it's definitely a lot harder than a lot of stuff that's been in the
Hmm.
last few albums. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, this has definitely been their best album in a while.
yeah,
Not to say that there weren't, like I say, Dystopia was a good
right.
album.
Yeah, we're not
And
saying they weren't good. It's just
right.
this is just
Now
better.
don't
We just like these better.
right. Now don't get me wrong, I didn't like Super Collider. I've said that more than
Right.
once, but
Yeah.
Endgame and 13, there are songs I like there are
Yeah.
songs that I like a lot on those albums. But when you're talking about start to finish, when you're talking about
Hmm.
an album as a whole from start to finish, this is I would say this is probably definitely their best one in a while.
Hmm.
It's like it was almost like I say like he was like, all right, Kiko, go.
Yeah.
And then it just Dave was something pissed Dave Mustaine off, man. I mean,
Right.
because of course,
Yeah.
he's
Cancer, I think, did it to him. So
yeah.
he's like,
So he was pissed and it fucking it paid off, So
and
I mean,
he
it
sounded
sucks that he had to go through that, but I mean, he sounded
right.
great.
Yeah, I was going to say he sounded a lot better than I was expecting him to, and especially with some of the like he did some high pitched stuff on there. I was like, wow, that's
Some
pretty
higher pitched
wild.
stuff that he's done in a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
definitely surprised me that he did that. Being that close to being out of
mhm.
cancer. So
Yeah. Yes, I mean, Dave sounded great. You could tell he was getting some emotions out.
right,
Kiko's guitar solos were fucking insane. Dirk Verburen he's an underrated drummer.
yeah,
It was just insane how well he plays the drums. And then while we talked about the fact that we didn't exactly agree with them completely re-recording David Ellison's bass
hmm
work on the drums, and I still don't agree with it, but I mean, James Lomenzo did he just came back in and picked up right where he left off,
right,
So I mean, it's just spectacular, man. With as much as because last week I talked about how blown away I was by the new Machine Head album, and
hmm
I was just as blown away, if not a little more so, with this Megadeth
right.
album. It was just 2 weeks in a row to have albums this good come out.
hmm
but we talked about it before. What the hell are we going to do as far as putting a top 10 together at the end of the year when you got albums like this coming out? I mean, with everything, with all the good stuff we listened to this year, and then the past 2 weeks, we've had these two albums come out. I mean, Ozzy's album hasn't come out yet. Slipknot's album hasn't come out yet. It's like, holy Lord, what the fuck are we gonna
Lamb
do?
of God too. So Lamb of God.
I know.
October, so I mean,
I know.
If it's anything, and if it's anything like their last album, we're probably can expect some good things. So
yeah. So I mean, we've had some absolute bangers come out the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong. Like I said, we knew it was going to get pretty competitive, being locked down and stuff. So it really has lived up to the expectations, I think, of what we thought it was going to be. So. Just one badass album after another. It's
I know. Yeah.
And then we've been lucky enough to come up with and listen to stuff that we and that's been obviously just as good. Like I was telling Rob Rob, the drummer from Nonpoint, posted on Rivera. He posted on his social media about the Machine Head album, which Rob's a big Machine Head fan, so he was going to boast that anyway, but rightfully so. But I mean, when you're a fan of something and you got that much passion about the band, you're gonna be a little more,
yeah, I think I saw his.
I
think I saw the tweet you're referencing where he said it was his pick for the album of the year.
Yeah.
Which, it could definitely be in the running for sure.
It's up there. It's up there for sure. Like I was saying, we ran into a lot of these bands like Eyes of the Living and Source of Rage and some of these bands that we've interviewed, and that's the reason why we've interviewed them, because we thought so much of the albums. So, it was like, man, we'd love to have you on there talk about, we wanted to know the intel of how this came together, because they were so good, and it was bands that we never heard of. I was like, how's these bands we never heard of so fucking good? It's like, but yes, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Even like I said, underrated stuff that are more of a underrated bands that aren't as big as the Machine Heads and Megadeth and stuff. So I mean, it's going to be pretty tough. I mean,
it's going to be hard. It's just going to be hard. That's all it's going to be.
It's almost going to be like, okay, at least top 10 are tied. So, So, but yeah, so it was definitely a great album. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'll definitely be listening to it again a couple more times this week. But
oh man, I've listened to Machine Head all week too. So it's kind of like, like I said, there's songs on there that it's like, Machine. My Megadeth had a couple songs right there at the end. I was just kind of, it's okay. It's not it's not the best songs on the album by far, but it's it's okay. It's good. They're good. Like I said, I think the riffs kind of like catch you though. It's just like you're not even paying attention to a lot. Like when I first heard it, I wasn't paying attention to a lot of the lyric wise, because I was so amazed by the guitars. I'm like, man, these fucking guitars are sick, dude. Like, Jesus.
I do like how they put "We'll Be Back" as the last track on the album, though.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the way they did that.
Cool.
That was awesome. That was good track placement right there.
And I don't know if you caught one of the songs. I can't remember which one it was, but it said it actually said "Rust in Peace" in it in one of the lyrics. Yeah. I was oh wow. I was like, oh yeah. There's a little
throwback.
Yeah, a little throwback. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I thought that was pretty cool. So I like when they incorporate anything like that, and you kind of makes you think like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. But, but yeah, overall, definitely a great album. So
yeah, it was.
If you haven't checked it out yet, don't miss out. Go check it out. So all right, end of my album reviews. So I took on a band called Asylum. The album was called Tyrannicide. Asylum's from Sunshine Coast, Australia. Later, they were from Brisbane, Queensland, but all the same. They've been active since 2012, so been out a little bit. This is crazy. This is crazy to know that they've been out this long, and when I tell you about the go into the synopsis here, you'll see why that's crazy. But The current members are Levi Demiris on drums, Rob Armstrong on vocals and guitars, and then Shane Robbins on vocals and guitars. So, um, not sure which one of those are bass guitars. It didn't really say. So, while this band's had 3 EPs, this is the band's first full length album. So their first full length album been a band 10 years. So it's
10 years,
yeah. So it's pretty wild. So 9 songs, 38 minutes, 38 seconds. So it's I'm telling you right now, it's right up our alley. Being thrash fans, definitely played that label to a T. So so got this. So I guess the main thing that stuck out to me, like I pick out certain stuff that kind of stands out a lot. The double bass in this is like outstanding. Like it's pretty much throughout the whole fucking thing. It's like
nice.
I'm just like, man, is Hacky playing this? All these songs, like, damn. But it's like man, it's so fucking phenomenal with the drums. So that's definitely stood out. And I know you're more of a drum listener than I am. So,
yeah, I am.
So if you say that, if I'm telling you the drums are out there, then they're out there. So,
yeah, I've actually already got it pulled up into Spotify to listen to it.
yeah, it's pretty good. So, they vocally it reminded me of like the old school Exodus or Municipal Waste, and maybe even like Slayer, Death Angel type. So I mean, it's they're along that line. So.
You can't argue with that.
You kind of get the picture there. So, so I think everything about this album was great to me. The guitars, the drums, the vocals, all very well done. I loved it. The only issue I had was some of the songs did sound kind of close to the same, with maybe the change of a couple of chords and beats. But so I kind of like. But overall, it's still. I think it was good enough for me to give it a 4-horn listen. So,
nice.
So definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
I'm actually like, I wish they had more shit, man. It was pretty impressive for a debut album, I think. So,
well, let's see. I wonder if they're. Let's see. Well, actually, what sucks is looking at their Spotify page. I mean, they've got the new album that you just reviewed. The only other thing they have on here is Concealed Death from 2016. That's probably one of their EPs. So yeah, unfortunately, that's it.
Yeah.
That is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's better than nothing, I guess. But
that's definitely true. But yeah, 9 songs, 38 minutes and 38 seconds. That's a quick listen.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me, like the setup kind of reminded me of the old school Metallica setup, where they had like 8-9 songs and it was 45 minutes long or something, So it kind of reminded me of that setup too. So it was like everything you would kind of think about with thrash was kind of there. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Like I say, I've already got it queued up to listen to.
Yeah, it's definitely good. So it's definitely worth checking out. So.
Well, that's good. Well, my
and the album cover kicks ass. So
it does. Yeah, yeah. It's got a meat cleaver standing over a pile of bodies. Yeah, I like that. It's good shit. I'm telling you, man, you can't fuck with heavy metal as far as album art. You cannot fuck with it. I don't think any other genre holds a candle. I really don't.
No, they don't. I mean,
they don't. They just don't.
I mean, what's country going to do? Throw a tractor in a farm out there for you,
right? Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. Well, my official review was for the album "The God Machine" by Blind Guardian. I've heard of Blind Guardian before, but I don't think it's kind of the same thing as like last week when I listened to Gravedigger. Of course, I've heard more Gravedigger than Blind Guardian over the years, but I have heard of Blind Guardian. So, but I've never really, I don't think I've ever really sat down and listened to a whole lot of their stuff on purpose, to be completely honest with you. But they are a power metal band formed in Krefeld, Germany in 1987. Their lyrical themes include epic tales, myths and legends, fantasy, Tolkien, which the Hobbit or Lord, the Hobbit or Lord of the Ring, one of those two. I don't even know if I got that right. So
it's all one. It's all one. So
okay, all right. So and then just literature in general. Their lineup consists of Hansi Kirsch on vocals, Andre Olbrich on guitar, the lead guitar, Marcus Siepen on rhythm guitar, and Frederick Emke on drums, percussion, flute, and the bagpipes. There is a bass player, but he's not credited as being a a member of the band, because in doing some research on Encyclopedia Metallum, they haven't had an official bass player since 1997, because Hansi Kirsch used to play bass before he took over vocals, and ever since then they've just kind of basically hired a guy to play bass on their albums and live. So I didn't catch the name of the guy who played bass on this album. But obviously there is a bass player. I just don't know his name because he's not an official member of the band. This is the band's 12th full-length album. Oh, and another aside, as far as the lineup goes, with the exception of the bass player, the vocalist, and the two guitar players, all three of those guys are original members of the band. So going all the way back to 1987. So I thought that was kind of cool. So this is their 12th full-length album. Their first album, Battalions of Fear, came out in 1988, leading all the way up through The God Machine that came out yesterday. I won't read the other 10. It's just, but so The God Machine, 9 tracks long, 51 minutes and 8 seconds. So, a little bit longer, but not too bad. The longest track was track 3, 7.5 minutes. So, not too terribly bad. Not the longest album I've listened to, obviously. The only song on the album that wasn't like super duper up tempo was track 7, Let It Be No More, which was 4 minutes and 49 seconds long. It was a power ballad, but it was really well put together. I liked it as far as power ballads go. It was put together really well. One thing that I seem to notice about this album is there was a lot of operatic choral accompaniment as far as vocals go. Hansi Kirsch, he's got a real powerful voice. Sings completely clean throughout the album, but he gets there were a couple of songs towards the end of the album, the power ballad aside, of course, where he sang a little bit more aggressively. Still clean vocals, but it was a little more aggressive. But he sings the clean vocals throughout. But there's a lot of operatic backing throughout the album. The guitar riffs were written really, really well. The guitar solos got a little bit more prominent as the album went along. They were present in the first part of the album, but I was kind of concerned that they weren't going to be the focus because they were shorter. Like the first couple of songs, they were there, but they were short. And I was like, I wonder if this is going to be one of those bands or one of those albums rather, where they don't really concern themselves with the guitar solos. But as the album went on, they kind of proved that wasn't going to be the case, which is nice. Drum work was really well done. The double bass wasn't as prominent in this album as the album you just talked about, but I mean, it was there where it needed to be. They backed off where they didn't need it. So I mean, it wasn't overdone, it wasn't lacking. So I think the balance was really good. I'm gonna give this one 3.5 horns out of 5. One I would definitely listen to again, and definitely a band I would like to listen to more, because like I said, I haven't really sought out their music, even though I have heard of them. They are kind of in the same vein, I would say, as Gravedigger, but I think Gravedigger is probably a little. I would say if you had to choose between the two, I would say Gravedigger is probably a little heavier, where Blind Guardian is a little more melodic. Right. Even though there are elements of both in both bands, but Gravedigger is a little heavier than Blind Guardian, but both being power metal bands, and I'm kind of a power metal guy. They're both from Germany too, so I mean that helps. But
right,
having being European power metal bands, it's kind of one of my subgenres that I like to listen to too. So with addition to the Tyrannicide album, with it being thrash first is where we're both at. So yeah, the power metal album works for me too. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and
nice.
Obviously between that and Megadeth, yesterday was a pretty good day. So
yeah. I see where Extinction AD actually put out they always like to hear what you're listening to, and I threw that out there, and I remember that's the first thing he commented was the album cover. He said, "Man, that album cover kicks ass."
Yeah, it does.
I was like, I was like, well, that's going to be right up your guys' alley too, because I know they're
Yep.
thrash players. So,
Oh yeah.
so,
Oh yeah.
so hopefully they check out some of that stuff, and
Yeah, I bet you they do. I bet they do.
because they're always out there looking to listen to new stuff too. So
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
It's definitely not the first post I've seen where they've been like,
Right.
"Hey, what's good out this week?" So yeah, definitely not the first time.
I think Nonpoint did something like that a while back. I think whenever Rob was talking about the Machine Head, he said, "What are you guys listening to?" And he was just like, I'm listening to this." I think the Nonpoint page put it out, and then he commented on it. But
Okay.
so,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of bands out there. It's kind of like, hey, what y'all listening to? What's out this
Mm-hmm.
week? Or,
Yeah. Yeah, they like to know too. So
yeah. So, I mean, they can't keep up with everything when they're on the road. So
yeah. There's only 24 hours in the day for anybody, whether you're in a band, whether you're an athlete, an actor, or whatever. Everybody gets the same 24 hours in a day. So
yeah. Except for The Rock, The Rock only gets 4. So
right. Yeah.
I was like, when does that guy sleep?
I don't know. He probably hasn't slept in a decade. I don't know.
He's running around drinking rain drinks and stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I know. It's weird.
He's always posting. It's like, dude, do you ever sleep? Like,
I know. It's
and
he's always smiling too. He's always
he's always like he's like so I seen him like one night. It was like 11 or something at night, and he was like, oh yeah, we're out here about to do this thing for Black Adam and do this like for promoting it or whatever. And then it was like close to 1 in the morning. He's like, all right, we're about to hit the hay after doing the Black Adam thing or whatever. And then he was like, hey, it's 5 a.m. We're going to get this workout going. Like, motherfucker,
he just took a nap. That's all he did.
Yeah,
just
took damn, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, sit your ass down if you have a damn stroke, man.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you got to work while you can, I guess. So
that's right. Yep. Get it in.
It ain't like he's hurting for anything. He could probably quit today and not have to worry about nothing. But
he could.
That's beside the point.
He could. He absolutely could.
He's great. Right. He's great. He's great at what he does, though. So
yeah, he is. He is. He's enjoying it too. Who's to tell him to stop? So
what do we got next week?
Yep, coming up next week, and we
besides
got
Ozzy.
Besides Ozzy, yeah, of course. But I mean, we got a hell of a list going on. So coming up for September 9th, leading off, we have Abrams with In the Dark. We have An Abstract Illusion with Woe. We have Alan Olson with Army of Dreamers. We have Anders Bois with the Edinburgh Suite. I don't know how the hell to pronounce this. Angerst Sort. I have no idea how to pronounce this. There's no way I'm getting this right. With W. Zelush. That's a split album. I guess it's a split album, but I guarantee you I didn't fucking pronounce that right. There's no way. Then we have Apnea with Sea Sound. We have Astral Spectre with Phantom Nightmare. The Oath is Broken. We have Awaken the Misogynist with Descended from Vast Dimensions. We have Black Pyramid with 2. That is a re-release. We have Black Ruse with Metamorphosis. We have Bloodbath with Survival of the Sickest. We have Blood Chalice with the Blasphemous Psalms of Cannibalism. That's an album for the whole family. We have Bones with Somber Opulence. Burning Shadows with Steel Diplomacy. Crippled Black Phoenix with Banefire. We have Croson with Ready Aim Rock. Defiled Embrace with Whispers of the Forest. Electric Callboy with Techno. We have End and Cult Leader with Gather and Mourn. That's a split EP. We have Escarnium with Dysithmia, and that's an EP for them. We have Fallujah with Empyrean. Goat Christ with Odes to the Radiant One. We have Grieber with Fright Without. We have Grid Failure and Megalophobe with Harbinger Winds. We have Grief Ritual with Spiritual Disease. That is an EP. We have Hellgrim with Ritual. How the hell? Okay. We have Herbsulthargy with Melancholy in Blatthalm. We have High Tone Son of a Bitch with Live at the Hallowed Halls. We have High Viz with Blending. Holy Fawn with Dimensional Bleed. We have I Am with Eternal Steel. We have Inhuman Depravity with the Experiment Dead. Invaders with Beware of the Night. Jack 13's Panzer Crow with Murder Ballads. Love and War with Edge of the World. That is a re-release. We have Lunar Spells with Demise of Heaven. Meteora with Of Shades and Colors. Moral Panic with Validation. We have Motihari Brigade with Algorithm and Blues. Mountain Eye with First We Become Ashes. We have Morir with Disgrace. We have Mo Wynock with A Place for Ash. We have Necrambulant with A Feast of Festering Flesh. We have Netherlands with Kali Corvette. Nihilistic Warfare with Spark Hatred Fire. We have Offernat with All Colors Retract. Old Devil and the Spirit Chasers with Apocalypse Blues. Ozzy Osbourne with Patient Number 9. That could arguably be the headliner because we also have Parkway Drive with Darker Still. Pentagram with Machina Electrica. Perversion with Dies Irae. Praise the Sun with the Proffer of Light. Premortal Breath with the Angels and Wolves. That is an EP. We have Pray for Nothing with Kivshan. That's a re-release. We have Revocation with Netherheaven. Rotborn with On the Perspective of an Imminent Downfall. Rotting in Dirt with I Am Eating My Shame. That is an EP. Sedate Illusion with Time Is Not the End. Time Is Not the End / Black. Black Untold. I'm sorry. So I don't know if that's a split album. I don't know. We have Slug Crust with Ecocide. We have Symbolical with M Natura. That is an EP. Taboo with a self-titled album. We have Tala with The Generation of Danger. Taxi Caveman with the Galactic Slope. Testament with Titans of a Creation. That is a video album. Then we have 6 re-releases from Therion. We have Deadhill, Lemura, Secret of the Runes, Sirius B, Theli, and Vovin. So we have 3 releases from Therion. We have Toad Eater with Bexade. Toe Hider with I Have Little to No Memory of These Memories. Okay. We have Toughness with The Prophetic Dawn. Trauma with Awakening. Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown with Shake the Roots. Ultima Grace with a self-titled album. Until I Wake with Inside My Head. Unzucht with Chaos Magi Best Of. We have Valborg with Dare Alte. Vrenth with Succumb to Chaos. Warforged with The Grove Sundial. Wayward Dawn with All Consuming Void. That is the extent of that, very long list. So
yeah, definitely a lot to choose from. So
yeah, but like I say, aside from the Ozzy and Parkway Drive album, there are a couple on there that interest me. So yeah, it'll be a hell of a list to choose from, I think. So.
Speaking of this,
definitely no shortage of options.
Forgot to share the.
The playlists, right?
Yeah, I forgot. Imagine that. Then I forget.
Oh, it happens.
Forget I gotta do it on my phone too instead of on there. But yeah. So if you guys happen to want to know kind of get a feel of some of the bands that are coming out, then we do the playlists for a reason. We do that to put some of the newer music on there for you guys to kind of pick and choose what you may want to listen to. That's kind of what I use it for. So
yeah, give some sort of barometer what the new releases are going to sound like. Sure.
Yeah, I mean it's like a lot of times it doesn't. It's not always like the song that's on there may not always be like the rest of the album either. So
true.
Which I found.
Okay, so is this the weekly one?
That's the weekly one, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can find last week's top 10 real quick too. There's that, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was all up in the stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh. Where you go?
So yeah, you guys can take a look at that one. You can copy and paste this link. I wish we could hyperlink, onto the screen.
Yeah.
I wish we had the ability to do that. But
I,
you guys can still copy and paste that into your, into Spotify so you guys can go find
yeah,
that.
I think it's more of the I think the platform doesn't allow it or something. I don't know, but
Right. Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, since we're talking about it, if you guys want, and then this is last week's top 10, which was the theme was fantasy. So there's the
mhm.
top 10 from last week. So having talked about that, if you guys do want to check out the playlist that we put together, whether it's Jason's weekly playlists or our top tens, from the show here, you guys can find us on Spotify. On whether you're looking for my name, Chris Taranjo, or you can look for Mr. Impact, which is Jason's Spotify profile. And all you got to do is look for that thumbnail in the upper right hand corner. That is both of our thumbnails on Spotify. So, yep, there it is. That's the that's the thumbnail for Spotify. That's the thumbnail for the Metalheads Unite Facebook group, the membership page we got over there. That's for our TikTok page, which is up but is empty right now. And I
Yeah.
do.
Oh, I got a notification we had a follower. So
Well, I got a notification we got a follower, but then I went to the page and it still says we have one follower who is, who is Kayla. So I don't know if that's kind of like I don't know if that
delayed
was
response.
I don't know if that was like a troll email, like a spam email or what. But
Gotcha.
as far as I know, my daughter is the only one still following us, which isn't a surprise considering I still haven't done one goddamn TikTok video. So, but but regardless of that fact, that is still the same identifying thumbnail that you'll be looking for. So that's kind of the one we use as our identifier across all the platforms so far, because that is a picture that Jason did take at the Steel Panther show that we went to see a few years ago. So that you won't see that you shouldn't see that picture anywhere else, because that is a Mr. Impact original. So
yeah. So. And also, if you want to check out the playlist, you can also look up Metalheads Unite in the playlist and look up their playlist, and then all the playlists just show up underneath that search. So,
yep,
if you want to do that as well. So,
yeah,
actually, it may be a little easier. I think that's usually what I do when I'm looking for stuff.
It might be, but there are a few different ways that the playlist can.
Oh yeah, there's
Spotify.
Yeah,
so
there's definitely multiple ways to catch that in this show. So
yep, you guys can find us on VOPUSARadio.com, the website over there. We got the VOP USA Radio app that you can take with you from the Google Play and the Play what the hell is the app store called at Apple? I don't know what it's called. I don't have an Apple phone.
Is Apple Play, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Apple Play or not, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't either. I don't have iPhone either.
Wherever you Apple folks get your apps from, you guys can get the VOP USA Radio app from the App Store at Apple, and then, like I say, Google Play for the Android folks. We do have the Metalheads Unite Facebook group. Like I say, that looking for that thumbnail, find the Metalheads Unite playlist on Spotify. I promise you, I will get something put up on TikTok. I'll probably do one this week because I actually am on vacation this week. I'm not going anywhere. So, I mean, I'm just staying around the house to get some shit done. Just spend some time relaxing. So I will do my damnedest to get a TikTok put up on the Metalheads Unite TikTok page this week. But we are Metalheads Unite USA over at TikTok. Look for that same thumbnail. We have metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com, the email address. So the Metalheads Unite YouTube channel is over there. You can find us at that channel, or you could probably I'm not 100% sure if the VO YouTube channel is back up yet or not, but if it's not, we do have a Metalheads Unite YouTube channel, so you can find us there. You can find us if you want to, basically. You really can.
Twitch, Twitter,
really
Instagram.
Can. Yeah, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, yeah.
Radio.co if you're radio listening.
Radio.co. Yeah, you can find us. So we are definitely out there. So
All right. I guess we will put a bow on this one until next week. And like I said, you're on vacation. I'm on vacation, so it's kind of crazy to both
Oh,
be
you're
on
on vacation. Oh,
vacation.
yeah, you're on vacation. You're headed over to Virginia. That's right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, I work 2.5 days and then I'm taking off. So,
yeah, there you go.
so yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
gotta make sure I work Monday to get the double time pay. So.
right. Right. Holiday pay. Yep. Yep.
It's like I'm working from
So,
home anyway. It ain't like I can think like it's a big deal. But
right. That's true. That helps. Yeah. I've got my anniversary coming up at my
yep.
company. So it's one of those use them or lose them kind of situations. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
just
So,
decided to take a week off. Not that I couldn't use the sleep anyway, but
right, yeah. Especially after last night, right? So
yeah. So, but yeah, I'll get together with one of my kids and be like, help me do a TikTok,
yeah.
like somebody help me so I don't look like an idiot. So,
yeah.
so,
All right.
but yeah,
Well,
so,
yes, with that being said, we will wrap this bad boy up. Hope
all
you
right.
guys enjoyed it. I kind of went over a little bit from talking about the black metal bands, I guess. That probably took a lot of it. So
that's okay. That's all right.
Like I said, anything to get you some new music out there. So
that's
check
right.
out. So that's kind of what we're here for. So
yep.
So I guess until next week, where we'll have some new content and some reviews from the first couple of days of Blue Ridge, probably.
There you go.
I think my wife even says she would jump on here and talk about
that
a little
would
bit
be
of it
cool.
too. So
that would be cool.
So we'll see though.
So.
I don't. We'll see.
Yeah, you gotta talk her into that. That'd be cool as shit.
Yeah, she. I don't guess she's like really that like shy about doing those things. She just don't do them. But
yeah.
women, I ain't got no makeup on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the funny thing was like my wife actually went on my brother's podcast once, but it was before he
jumped over here.
Was it? I can't remember if it was before he was doing video. I don't remember. I'll have to look back. I'll have to ask him because I can't remember if it was before he was doing because he was doing audio only like us, but he did audio only longer than we did. So I don't know if my wife was on his show before he went to video or not. I'd have to ask him. But so I know I could get Angela to come on the show if the topic was right. So, but yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see Susie on here. So.
So, all right. So until next, hope you guys enjoyed it. So hopefully you'll be back next week to check out all the new content and new album reviews and everything new.
New. That's right.
New. Yeah. So, all right. Until then, I hope you guys have a good week. We will see you back next week. Have a safe and happy Labor Day. I forgot about that as well. So, so everybody be safe out there. Don't get too crazy. Until then, we will see you back here next week. And until then, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys.
See you guys next week.
Thank you very much.